Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Jackal's Corner. I am your host, Steven Longoria. Before we get into this podcast, let me give a few shout outs to our sponsors. Shout out to 5x5 Brewery out there in Mission, Texas, providing us any alcohol that we need for the podcast. Also, thank you to Concert Culture for providing us everything we need to go live with sounds and everything. Want to give a shout out to Motor Ramen out there in the Mission Food Park. If you're out there, go ahead and grab yourself some ramen noodles and munch out. They also have 5x5 right there in the same parking lot, so you can have your beer, your noodles, your music, and the hot ass women that will come out there. So you really have no reason to go anywhere else. Also, want to give a shout out to Ice Cubes out there in Edinburgh, Texas, slinging out some of the best damn snow cones you will ever have. And the cool thing about them is they do work for private gigs, so you can book them for your kid's birthday party, and they do make alcohol versions of the snow cone. So your kids can have their snow cone, you can have your snow cone, everybody's having fun. So with that being said, I want to get right into this podcast. I'm going to let these guys introduce themselves because I'm not sure how they want to be introduced. If you guys want to be introduced as B.T.G. or you guys want to be introduced solo, however.
No, definitely. I appreciate you asking that. I'm Angel. A lot of friends know me as Spanky, especially when we were performing as Below the Grave. So a lot of people might know me as that, and when it comes down to the rock scene. But I'm Angel from Below the Grave. Otherwise than that, I'm also a musician myself. I do play guitar and drums. But here is the next member of the old Below the Grave.
Hey, I'm Sky. During those, whoa, sorry, this is all new to me. Sorry about that.
No problem.
I'm used to just holding a microphone and screaming into it. You know what I mean?
Yo, definitely.
My bad. And I sing with my eyes closed and everything too. But during those days, I used to go by Fubi. I go by Sky now. Went through a lot of changes, of course. I'm just a singer, pretty much. I can't do much without these guys over here. You know what I mean? So, Below the Grave was a pretty good project of ours. It's still alive, still doing our thing. But yeah, you guys can go ahead and call me Sky now. But like I said, during those days, I would go by the name Fubi. A lot of old friends would probably still remember me by that name as well. And sorry, I stutter also when I get nervous, which is part of why I close my eyes when I talk. Okay, well, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, man. A lot of my previous podcasts, I've talked about this situation of that you guys were the first people I've ever met in the metal scene down here.
Yeah, well, I do remember.
Yeah, dead serious. I the day that I met you guys, you were playing at Thirsty Monkey with Wraith. And I came up to you guys and I was like, do you know where any cool metal is? And you were the one that was like, right here, my band's playing next. And I was like, fuck yeah.
Wow, for real?
Yep.
I think you had just moved in. You came from Corpus or something like that. I think you were telling me you were just coming into town. You might have been out of town or something.
Yep.
You were just trying to watch some music.
Yep.
And so right after we finished playing, Fubi was like, hey, man, check it out. I met this guy outside. I invited him to come check us out.
Yep.
And, dude, you were just like, you were awesome, man. You were such a huge supporter in that music scene. And it's amazing to see that. And even today, you're still supporting all these musicians, bro.
Definitely.
So, to you, bro, thanks for all that, dude.
Man.
Because
definitely,
yeah, man.
It's what I do, man. It's what makes me happy and content with life is being out there and supporting it. Because a lot of people say, well, you're supporting the scene, but I look at it as supporting a dream. This is other people's passion. This is their dreams, and I love supporting that. It's something that's positive and good, and it encourages people to do good things. And I'm a person all about that. I love positive vibes and being good and one with each other because, I mean, at the end of the day, we're all doing it the same thing. We're just trying to live our dream and our passions, and that's all it is. And when we start hating on each other for any number of things, that's when our scene gets screwed up and it starts getting worse. And I'm like, nah, man, we're all doing the same shit, man. Maybe doing different styles, maybe doing different things, but it's all at the end of the day, it's all the same, you know? But yeah, man. So, have you guys been writing anything lately, or?
Whoa. I know that as individuals, we all are writing. I know that we also have it as a profession and a career. But together we have a set list of about 14 songs
Nice.
in the span of like maybe 8-9 years. The thing is that it's pretty much, everyone's heard at least 10 to 12 of the songs already, and that's one thing that's pretty tough about about the being alive as Below the Grave, because in original terms, Angel and I here, or Spanky and Fubi, are not the original members of Below the Grave.
Yeah.
Where we actually came afterwards. Below the Grave was actually a punk group.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like a small 3-man punk group, and Jerry is actually going to be, or Fluffy is going to be the original member who's still part of the group. He's
Nice.
the original member. OG, exactly.
OG.
So that's just a little history right there.
Oh wow.
Damn, we went far with that one for sure. But when it comes down to our music, it's been a tough ride, because since then we've had our oldest song is going to be Can't Bring Me Down.
Yeah.
That's our super oldest song right there. And ever since then, we've been able to, from that point on, for them, because the band's been alive for maybe 15 years.
Yeah.
Further than us, since maybe around 2013.
Right.
So our music pretty much has been, it's still kind of stable. We still have everything either recorded here or there. We probably should maybe even put like a few tracks out. I've been trying to find those old tracks just to be able to put a few out so people can listen to. You know what I mean?
That would be awesome.
Recorded ones, and maybe even like get a demo out to you as well. Like I said,
that
I'm
would
trying
be
to find
awesome.
those old tracks, man. They're buried somewhere, but we're not currently writing anything. We did try, and that's something we were talking about before we even started the podcast, was how technology nowadays has made it easier for us to be able to write music from state to state.
Yeah, definitely.
So hopefully we'll be able to do that. But I know at the moment we're all kind of still doing our own individual selves to better ourselves and get a little further in our personal lives, because we did do about 8 years worth of touring around the valley practically.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, we're not gonna lie, it's fun.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing that I've always noticed about you guys, man, is that your music's always been consistent, and it's you guys aren't one of the bands that go half-ass. I remember many nights before the show, you just practicing over and over your vocals and doing your shit, and you don't see that very often anymore. You can see that that's an old school musician right there, that they take pride in what they're doing. They aren't going to go up there and half-ass it and be like, well, you had a sense of pride about what you were doing, and you put it out there, and I think that's a lot of reason why fans were attracted to it. They knew they were getting quality music when they went out there.
That's cool that you noticed that.
Yeah, definitely.
That's cool that you noticed that. We
Definitely.
want to kill each other, trust me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of times during practices where, I mean, and I'm sure a lot of bands go through this, where especially as you grow together as a group, you just, I mean, like brothers and sisters, brothers and brothers, you fight,
Yeah.
and you have disagreements, and sometimes those disagreements aren't pretty, so and it wasn't all the time at all, but there was a lot of times where there was a lot of tension, and even between bands, but and we used to say, oh, it's beef. It's not beef. After the years have passed and as I've matured, I've realized that was more passion than anything. You know what I mean? All these bands, we're all fighting for the same thing. We're all trying to, whether you're an individual musician or you're in a group, in a metal band, whatever kind of band you're in any music scene, we're all trying to put our music out there, be heard, get an invite to the next gig, make a few bucks off of it if we can, you know what I mean? And so we're all fighting for that, but there's so much of us, there's so many of us.
Yeah, definitely.
And at some point that passion just overtakes us, you know what I mean? And it's a great kind of like a competitive experience, if you will, you know what I mean? It kind of adds a little edge to the game. But I think as a youngin', myself being naive and cocky, I think I let that get to me a little too much as a youngin', you know what I mean? And now that I've matured and I haven't actually been gigging live at all, and I've been able to just kind of watch from the sidelines, I'm noticing like, there's a lot to performing that I didn't realize while I was doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
well,
I put my
absolutely.
emotions out there, I let it all out on the stage. But when I was off the stage, I was a completely different person. And that's why another reason I don't go by Spanky no more. That was just like a completely different person. It's an alter ego I came up with to give me this sense of confidence,
Right.
And so I give props to all these musicians like Lone Scar, Brian and his crew there. And there's a couple other bands that I've been seeing that have been still gigging, bro.
Yeah.
Lone Scar is one that's on my radar. Side of Impact, bro. Like those guys, man. I follow these guys like crazy. And it's amazing to me because through all these years, they've maintain that courage, that willingness.
Oh, yeah.
And they're still going through, even through COVID, bro. These guys are
Yeah.
out there making videos. So, man, props to you guys if you see this. You know,
Yeah,
big props to
absolutely.
you guys, and you know, all of y'all, anybody who's out there performing, any of our friends, because I have a lot of friends that we're just starting off on guitar. There's one lady, one old friend of mine. We're not even really friends, just acquaintances from an old friend. Her name was Rose. She goes by Rose now, and she releases some songs on YouTube. Amazing performance, but I just watched her start off playing guitar, little things, you know what I mean? And to see
Yeah.
that all these people are continuing, and you're continuing, and everybody's still going, it really is like it inspires me to want to grow myself, and even honestly start kind of gigging again. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And sitting here with your buddy too. I've seen a couple of his videos online. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We got Mr. Jake right
Jake.
behind running the podcast right now, helping us do everything. And I've seen a couple of your videos. Man, like awesome stuff, dude. You know, awesome stuff all the way
Yeah.
around. So I really appreciate you having us on here, being able
Oh,
to talk
absolutely.
about past experiences and how music has helped us grow and helped everybody as musicians grow here in the Valley, dude, especially in the
Oh,
Valley.
definitely, man. I mean, you guys were actually one of the first bands I was thinking of bringing on as soon as I started the podcast. Actually, Karen, she as soon as I told her I was starting it, she messaged me. She's like, "I know you're having BTG." I
Oh,
said,
sweet Karen.
Sweet Karen.
Oh, sweet Karen. Gotta give her a
Yes.
shout out too, man.
"Absolutely,
Sweet Karen.
yes."
She was BTG's manager and promoter for a little while, especially
Yeah.
when she was doing gigs at Barlow's for a little bit.
Barlow's, dude.
So our little venue for everyone to hang out at. It was
Yeah.
totally cool. BYOB.
BYOB,
Everything. So,
everything.
Man.
We'd be in the back parking lot all blazing out and drinking. And
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Everyone enjoying a good time.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
That
So you see, we remember. We all
Yeah.
remember.
Yes, that was when I remember one time you guys were playing and Forsaken Empire was playing.
Oh my God.
And
Yeah,
that
man.
was when I told the singer, I was like, "Bro, is your band called Foreskin Empire?" And he you just started hearing people start saying it, "Foreskin Empire." I was like, "I'm so sorry."
Oh man.
But yeah, man, it was good times.
happens.
I always remember Barlow's, dude. Always. I'm always telling people, man, miss that place.
Yeah, it was one of the like few little beginning spots for everyone. We wouldn't
Mhm.
have been able to start if we didn't have a little spot like that.
Crown and Peril was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I even still got the shirt. I cut the sides up, but I still got the shirt they gave us when we went to that No Fear No Distraction gig. Yeah, that was Adrian's show that time. That was a good show too. Yeah.
Goliath, yeah. In Goliath, man. Yeah, man. I trip out because like a lot of the people that I was chilling with back in the day, I see the way they've evolved in their music, and it's so amazing. Like you're talking earlier about Brian. Man, I remember back when he was with Among the Desecrated.
Dude, yeah.
And he would
B.T.G.
always he would tell me all the time, he's like, "You know what, I named the band after my dick." And I was like, "Bro, dude, no, dude, you do not want your dick to be called Desecrated, bro." He's all like, "Why?" I was like, "Bro, Google it."
There's a limit to metal, right?
Yeah.
Like we use it right. There's corrections.
Yes, he looked it up and he was like, "Oh no." I was like, "Yeah, bro."
I was like, oh, it's a cool name though.
Yeah, like a great band name, but just but
Oh, cool.
But yeah, man, and I tell him all the time, I'm like, "Man, I'm so proud of how much you've advanced as a vocalist, like, like massively." As I remember when he first came out, he would always scream and cuss at the fucking fans, and I'm like, "Bro, you can't do that, bro. That's how you sell merch, bro. You can't tell the person in the audience, 'Fuck you, you little bitch. You want to buy my shirt?'"
Maybe one of them will do it.
Maybe one, but he would always tell me, he's like, "What the fuck, man? People don't even want to talk to me." I was like, "It's because you act like a dick."
Holy shit. Too metal. You're too black.
Turn it back, bro. Turn it back some. I remember he used to get pissed off at Manny all the time, Cepeda. He would get mad at Manny Cepeda all the time because Manny would always call Brian. He would tell him, "Man, you're not a Mexican, you're black, bro." And he called him Barack Obama all the time.
Oh my god.
He'd always be like, he's like, he'd always tell people that all the time. They'd be like, "You guys ready?" They're like, "Yeah, but we're still waiting for our vocalist, Barack Obama." I was all like, dang, dude. Like great times, man. Great times, and I love that that everybody still hangs, everybody chills, and still talks to each other.
It feels like it feels like we have our own stories. Like that one time, who was it that James Hetfield threw a bitch fit? Oh, no, it was with the dude with the hat from Guns N' Roses. What's his name? Slash and Metallica. They all had like a little argument at a restaurant.
Oh
Yeah, I think you know that story.
yeah.
Yeah, it feels like little moments like that, and at some point we all just come back together. Like, hey, you remember that time? Like,
Yo.
yeah, I remember that time.
Great times. Great times, man. And that's what I tell my wife all the time. I'm like, and I love the people I've met down here. They're people that I'm gonna have in my life forever. I love them. And there's some that have fallen to the wayside and haven't hung, but like I tell people, I'm always here. You decide to walk off, go ahead. You want to come back, that's cool. I'm still here. Yeah, you know, I understand that with life, there's many pathways, and people have to take certain pathways away from you, and sometimes those pathways link back together again, and sometimes they don't. But whatever's for the greater good is what needs to always happen, you know. And I strongly believe in that. And there is people that I've hung with, and we don't hang anymore, but I see their success, and I'm like, dude, hell. That's what's up. Success, always encouraging people to do good in life, always encouraging people to live their better life is worth everything in the world, because you may be that one key that person needed to reach that next level. Yep. And by you denying them that, you are stopping their success, which is stopping your success.
You know what's funny about that is that there's a lot of contributors to the Valley scene, like for sure. Yeah. And one thing we forget is that as a small little town that we are, this little compilation of little small towns, is that we all, if at some point we all link up through the right agencies, I guess you can say, through the right promoters. Like for example, like we know if you know someone in Harlingen, you're gonna definitely be able to get into the hop shop. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And damn it, I forgot where I was going with that. Anyways, I forgot. Here you go.
He's gonna come back to him and be like,
"You'll come back to it. You were making some valid points."
I was like, and I looked at you, and you're just like, yes. And I was like, brain fart. Forgot.
Yes.
No, but yeah, I definitely see what you mean about, you know, the evolution and the success of, you know, other people that we don't associate with anymore. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I myself, I am guilty of kind of leaving the scene altogether. I haven't hung out with any of, you know, my old friends from that scene in years. You know, and there's a lot of times where I think back and I'm like, dang, you know, I miss that. I miss having that freedom and being able to just get together and jam out and be careless and reckless. But at the same time, when I see where they're at, I'm like, I don't feel so bad, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Because we made our memories. We had good memories.
Yeah.
And you guys are like, y'all are doing great. Y'all are happy. And even if you're not a millionaire or anything like that, you guys are happy. Y'all got families. You guys are doing your career. You're having a great time. And so, like, you know, all in all, like, when I look back, I think, we had some good times. And if we get to make some more good times, even better, you know? So that's why I was like, when he told me, hey, you know, Steven wants to meet up and just talk a little bit about what it was like being in the music scene back then. I was like, hell yeah, dude. Like, I it's like you said, when we deny people that opportunity, and I've been so focused on myself and trying to, like, I gotta grow, I gotta save money, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta get a car, I gotta get a house, blah blah blah, that I pushed everybody out, you know, because I was so focused on me. And so when he said that, I was like, bro, yes, like, I'm gonna stop pushing people away. Let me go talk. Let me go see what's up. And dude, I'm glad I'm here, because this is awesome catching up, dude. Like, dude, like, if you haven't aged a day, like, you know, none of you, you know, like, we're just the second I pulled up, it was just like nothing changed. Like the last time we hung out 10 years ago, however long it was, you know what I mean?
So automatic.
So yeah, dude, it's tight, man. It's tight.
Well, definitely, man. And a lot of this came through this really cool hippie dude that I talked to a lot from Austin. Okay. This guy's been through shit, dude. Like, he's been through some shit. And he says this all the time. He says I have been through some wars mentally, physically, and through my soul. He says that most people would give up on it. He says I remember one thing that his dad told him. He says the biggest storms produce the biggest success outcomes if you make it through. And he says, and I live my life that way. He says, because he says, the success may not be mine, it may be somebody that I meet. He says, and that is all that we can do in life. We cannot change the outcome of things that are happening at the moment. We can just hope that we are able to spread some kind of positive to someone else and hope that that person pushes it to another person and keeps on. And through that, everyone in that line will find success. Whether it's you beat your negative energy that you had for the day or any of that, you know, it is a success. And I tell people it all the time when people say, nah, man, because my day's just turned into shit. Well, you have the power to change that. The beauty of life is that you can always restart your day. You can always restart it. You can have shitty day and just be like, okay, you know what? I refuse to allow this to steal my energy. Yep. And I'm just like, it took me being sick and in hospitals and laying in hospital beds and saying, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to allow any of my illnesses to take any more of my joy away from me. Yep. And I won't. And that's why when I go in the hospital, as soon as I get out, I'm right back at it because time is very short. And for all I know, one of these podcasts could hit somebody's earwaves and they hear just the right message that they needed to hear. And it gets them back into music or gets them into painting again or anything. And that's why I like bringing musicians like this on because people can relate to it. I mean, there's so many podcasts out there and stuff where the big stars get the fucking spotlight. But where's the places for the local artist, the local painter or the poet or any of that they don't ever get a spotlight and yet have such a big message that could save so many lives? And I believe in that because local music saved my life multiple times, you know, and it wasn't the big name bands. It really wasn't, you know. I mean, other than Pink Floyd, I mean, that's just the greatest band, you know. So, but for me, it's always been local artists because I really get to sit and talk to those people and I become friends with them and I get to see, you know what, they truly do live that life. They've been down that road. And it's hard to relate to people who haven't been on that road and just write about it and be like, oh, well, you know what? There has to be somebody who's gone through this, and they write it. There's a total difference in the message that is portrayed when they sing it or when they play it, when they've been through it. Everything that this man has ever sang, I'm like, dude, I fucking feel that, dude. And you can feel the emotion just coming out. I remember many times where this guy would be on the stage just and tears coming down from him singing. And I'm like, that's a fucking vocalist. That's how it's supposed to be done, man. You see all these vocalists now that are in these new bands that are coming out, and they're like robots. They just stand still and they all move together. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, if I wanted to see this, I would just sync up my fucking drones and let them dance together. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, sync up my drones, let them dance together.
Like, but yeah, man. But I've been following you here lately, Sky, and I love a lot of the stuff you're putting out. I think it's really awesome, and I know you've always really been a person that is, to the best of your ability, try to help people out and been there for them. And that's one thing that I've always admired about you is that you have been that guy that it's always been like, hey, I'm there for you. You know, I remember back when I was telling you I wanted to start a metal band, and you were like, dude, I'll help you with vocals, bro. I'll teach you how to do that shit. And like, I was like, dude, that's what's up, you know? So I'm really enjoying that, and I'm really enjoying seeing this side of you come out and all that, because I know you've been through some shit. I know you've been through some shit. And it really eases my soul to see that you're at this point in life where you're focusing on yourself and you're focusing on healing and fixing everything like that. And that's a beautiful thing, because a lot of people let it go to the wayside. A lot of people are just like, you know what, this is who I am, and I'm never going to be able to change, so fuck it, you know? And you're not doing that. And that's something to definitely be proud of, and that is definitely something that deserves recognition. I mean, it's very hard to face your demons and to fight them.
And you know what's funny? That I not once did I think or expect to hear someone say thank you in their own way for what it is that I'm trying to do with my own personal work.
Yes.
And I didn't expect to have that even mentioned here. I thought we were just going to stick to just Below the Grave, to be honest, because that is more of like me on my own, you know?
Yeah.
But honestly, that does sprout from Below the Grave, because one thing I did as a musician was help the scene grow itself. One thing our family did that I, like you say, give recognition to, especially to my father, because my father did do a lot himself by supporting a PA system, much like our brother over here could also understand. And much like Adrian out there can understand, much like you can understand, promoting the very fuckers who don't show up to the fucking show on time. Sorry for the word. Sorry for my French, everyone. You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, get here on time, 15 minutes set up. Nope, they're 30 minutes late. Like, what the douche?
Right.
Below the Grave is about to play. Like, everyone's got to have their time. Everyone's going to be, like, everyone wants to be said. Like, nope. You know what I mean? But that's the beauty of it. And where I'm going with that is that everyone needs the recognition, like you said. And Karen's one of them. My father's one of them.
Yes.
There's groups like, I believe, that had that in Brownsville. What was their name again? It wasn't A Crown and Peril. It was A Secret Soul in Silence.
Oh, there's and the hero prevails.
And the hero prevails.
Which is props to them too, man.
Oh, yeah.
Shit, bro. And the hero prevails, man.
Yes.
Keep going.
Oh,
Yes.
I can't remember everyone from back in the day.
Yeah, there's a lot, man.
I've smoked too much weed. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there was Fucked with a Chainsaw back then.
Oh my dude, Jesus, they're from my high school days.
Yeah.
From my freaking high. You're from that? You were here that during those days?
Yeah.
I wasn't even allowed to go out during those days yet.
Freaking Doom Desire.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I wasn't allowed to go out. I had to.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to play with that War with Androids, man. Those guys are dope.
Killer drum set. Love that drum set.
Yep. Well, I guess what I was trying to say with that recognition and everything, man, is that like, a lot of venues opened up because of a lot of small people that we don't give recognition to. A lot of people who go unchecked. That the reason being that I say that is because I was the one who had Open Doors booking, and the reason why I'm gonna say this is because during those days it was very prejudiced against certain music back in the day. If you weren't heavy enough, you were not gonna get on the bill. If you weren't hardcore enough, you were not gonna get on the bill. And the reason why I remember is because I managed to get Below the Grave onto a bill one day. And oh my God, did they fucking eat us alive?
Was that the one?
That was at the VFW. That was at the VFW. They know what was crazy? The reason why is because we went super ham, and My Children, My Bride came down to play, and they got us. They think that's awesome, we got to play, but we were on the wrong bill, bro. We were on the wrong bill. You know what I mean? No way. Everyone was like, bro. You know, we're just like, ah. You know, like he's fucking throwing his bass, and we're just like, Jerry's looking at himself. He's like, I can't do that. We're like, dude, we gotta go do this. So we went up there and we did it. You know what I mean? And Below the Grave never got to play again for another maybe 4 or 5 years after that. Like, for real. No, for real. They made sure that Below the Grave could not play in any bill because of the reason being that we weren't heavy enough. And some little fuckers will know what I'm talking about. Look, point at you guys. Because I had to talk to you guys personally. And you guys lied to me. So anyways, because why? They booked my other band, Soul Fear. So where they wouldn't book them, they'd book Soul Fear because why? Soul Fear was heavier. You understand?
Yeah.
So for 4 years or so, while me and my boys over here were struggling and playing, and they were going through a singer, and everything was happening, like they were working hard. Like they need that recognition. Below the Grave needs that recognition because I wasn't originally with them.
Yeah.
So, and when I finally did, I got them a gig, and we played little tiny amps, everything, man, everything. But it was great. We got to play alongside My Children, My Bride. Nice. And we never got to play for maybe 4 years, 4 years after that. 2013 was our biggest break. One thing I can say is that Karen, myself, my father, people like At War with Androids, people like A Single Breath, even like the bands that work at the Hop Shop, you know what I mean? The groups that are in different counties and different cities that reached out their hands to each other to create a music scene back in the day, because that was what was missing. We had Tejano, and we had Tejano. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and because of that, and Sons of Texas, you know, we'll always remember as them, you know, as Sons of Texas, or just as Texas. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
Yeah, you know him as Solarium as well?
Solarium, all that, yeah.
So then you might know our father, Mark Trevino, then. Because he was the one who used
shit.
to manage them back in the day.
Yeah.
That's our dad.
Holy fuck.
That's our pops.
That's what's up.
So our pops is also the owner of Soulful Records and Productions. So he's the one who also helped open up our way to Sophie's Double S Saloon. The reason why there's a stage built back there is because the owner, Jerry, the original owner, built that stage for us. And I'm going to say that. That's our stage. You guys fucked it up. For real. Like, it was beautiful. Like, it was beautiful. And it's still a good venue. But when Jerry owned the venue, he let us record in there and everything. It was super dope.
Holy shit, I forgot about that.
He let us record.
He straight up told us, bro. He told my dad, he's like, dude, whenever you want, you just tell me. He's going out of town or whatever. He's like, you just tell me the bar's yours. You guys can come. Dude, we have pictures recording in that bar for Sophia with your band. I think Chris Mata on drums. I think Eddie Marroquin was doing guitar. Eddie Marroquin, bro, pinche Eddie. He was Shredder, yeah, dude. And then new vocals. And there was, and then Broly. Pinche Broly. Anyways, yeah, man. And so they let us record in that bar, dude. And it was amazing because we had built this, like, relationship with the owner. So how that happened is because my dad does amusement. He used to work for an amusement company back then in FAR called Smitty's Amusement Company. Right. It's right on the corner of 83 there next to the Andy's Pet Store. It used to be, at least. So he would get contracted to go do pool tables, fucking anything amusement in bars, jukeboxes, old school jukeboxes. He was like one of the few guys that knew how to fix all that shit. He'll do that shit. And we did 8 pool tables in a day, just to give you an idea as to how fast my dad works, okay? And I'm not trying to brag, but my dad's fucking good. All right, so if y'all need a pool table done, hit up my dad, Mark Trevino. he'll get you good prices. But yeah, so my dad had been doing work for him for fucking years already. And so, after he left Smitty's and my dad was already a paramedic, I think, when he decided to do the whole Sophia record and production thing, he went to Jerry and he just asked, hey, man, like, I remember you had this badass little venue in the back. Can we use it for a gig and just throw a little Toga Metal Bash? And if some of you remember, we had a Toga Metal Bash that year. Toga Metal Bash. Or what? No, it was the Halloween Bash first because October came first. And so we invited a few different bands. And I want to say Brian's band, Head Trip, ended up being able to come out to the Toga Metal Bash. And, that was kind of like the spawn of a few small local bands here and there. And so even though we stopped performing so much and we saw a bunch of other bands, we saw that stage grow, dude. That stage is amazing. I never got to play on the new stage, but, it's amazing to see that people are still using that stage. I think I saw a video from maybe a year ago, and people are playing on the stage and they're still booking that gig. So I'm like, that venue, so I'm like, bro, amazing. Hands down to everybody out there that's still fucking going. Because I felt so bad and so guilty for leaving the game. But it's, again, I see everybody's success and I'm like, yes, you guys keep rocking. That's awesome. I've got random friends and coworkers whose friends and family members are in bands now that I didn't even hear of. Yeah. So you tell me you're still going to gigs like all the time, right? Yeah. I haven't been to a gig in years, bro. What's that like, man? Like, what's a gig like now? It's
amazing still, the energies. Dude, the great thing is that the musicians are getting younger. And they're so fucking talented. It blows my fucking mind.
Yes, the younger the better. Keep going, guys.
The like Archangel AD. These fucking kids, when I first saw them, they were 18 playing freaking Metallica Ride the Lightning perfectly. I was like, bro, like, what the fuck? And I thought they were at least in their 20s. I mean, for them to know Metallica that well, I was like, you got to at least be in your 20s, I think. And then they get off stage. I was like, hey, you want a beer? And they're like, we're too young. We're 18. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Like,
what?
For real.
I was like, the fuck, man? Like, how the fuck? And they're like, yeah, just thrash metal's our fucking dream. And it's our passion. I was like, dude, I will buy any fucking thing you come out with. Like, that's amazing. For them to be young and them to give respect to bands like that and be like, these guys are fucking up here with us. I'm like, that's awesome. Because you see a lot of these young cats come out and you tell them, oh, what's your inspiration? 5 Finger Death Punch. I'm like, you like Metallica? No, man, that's dad rock.
Yeah.
I'm all like,
kill yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, like
oh, okay, wow. I'm like, you're probably also the guy. I'll tell him straight out. Yeah, you probably buy Miley Cyrus tickets back when she sucked. You know, now Miley Cyrus actually is really good now. I've been checking her stuff out. Like, holy fuck. Like, I've always liked Miley when she does real musician stuff, where she has her guitar and she's playing and writing. I'm like, that's fucking amazing. When she really puts her heart and soul into that music, I'm like, yes, that's good. Stop doing this fucking corporate bullshit that they want you to do and be the musician you know you could fucking be.
Yep.
Like, fuck that, you know? And I respect that. I say that about any musician. When anybody does something and they're being true to themselves, it's beautiful. And you could tell the difference. You could totally tell the difference between something that was written by the studio and was like, here, you play this.
Yeah.
You know, and if I wanted that, I can just go to my computer and listen to anybody do it. I mean, we got so much technology now. I could do it. I could sample it and put it together and me doing it, you know, in the same way. And so I like individuality. I like originality. I love to hear a musician's viewpoint of how that situation is. That's why I don't mind if a band covers a song. Just make it your own.
Exactly.
That's it. Like, make it your own. I mean, granted, you're gonna feel if you feel what that person's saying. Fucking go ahead, go ahead. But then there's those people that they just do it, and you can tell they just did it to make money. And that shit I can't stand. I can't stand that shit because the person who did write that wrote it because they went through something. And especially when it's like tragic music that was written and then somebody covers it and they're just like, oh, make a mockery of that song. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? That's like somebody's fucking soul you're fucking with, man. Like, don't do that. If you don't really have love and passion for that, then don't do it. Like the majority of country artists today, holy fuck, dude. It sounds like pop music. It does not sound like country at all. Like, at all. And I understand music evolves, but, like, to evolve totally out of your genre.
It's going through a tough time.
Yeah. Like, there was this.
Grunge tried to kill the metal.
Yes.
That song you said that was your oldest song in the beginning. What was the name of it?
Can't Bring Me Down?
Was that written by y'all or
No.
was that already in the?
It was already in the set list. It was written by two other original members. Oh yeah, well, Jerry and Aaron, yeah, and Israel, exactly. They're the ones who wrote it, and well, it's stuck by. It's one of the few songs actually that actually stuck with us that we didn't take off of our set list. Aside from like Mistress of Deception never made it to stage. It's a really cool song to play. I'm not gonna lie, it sounds really Egyptian and everything. Really, really cool song, really different. But the thing is that it was in very big conflict because the whole song was written by an ex-member, and where we have the dreams to our ambitions were to make it really far. Of course, there's conflict of interest with stuff like that, so we didn't want to be getting in too much trouble. And there was some agreement with other songs and stuff like that, but with specific ones that were like really intricate, like Mistress of Deception was super intricate. Like Aaron himself literally sat down and was on his, I think it's an LTD guitar, right?
Yeah, I want to say
The gorgeous one he has. Yeah, he has a gorgeous guitar. He wrote it on that song and he played it and everything. And I'm just like, nah, man, like it just doesn't feel right to have this song because it's too intricate. It's gorgeous. It's unique. It's like Jerry's song, The Man of Sand. The Man of Sand, my father was like, hey, he gave me an idea. And I presented it to the band, and Jerry was like, "Holy crap!" And then we all started. I said, what I do is I give him a story, and I'm just like, "Here, guys, I got this story and this idea going along with the album." And Jerry's like, "Does it flow?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's going with the story so far." And he's like, "Okay." And I tell him the way it starts is it's like this, and I tell him a story. You know what I mean? I envision it, and that's how we all start writing. Angel never really listens to the story. He waits till everyone's done writing, and then he just writes drum parts, or he helps us keep the beat, or just keeps a steady beat, like. He's passionate in his own way, but he doesn't get influenced like that. He gets influenced if he hears something new. So Jerry always has to write something new. I remember one time this fuckhead over here, for Mistress of Deception, I took some lyrics inside to him, and he read them. He was just like,
what the fuck is this, bro?
yeah, fucking shit.
You're
Like,
trying to write a song. I need you to write me a poem, bro.
yeah, like I was like. Like I didn't even get mad, you know what I mean? Because I was just like, me and Jerry were outside and we winged a song real fast because they were inside eating in the AC, drinking Pepsi, eating pizza, while Jerry and I were outside working hard on the fucking song, and we were just like, let's do this, let's go inside and eat. But Angel wanted to see the lyrics, so I showed him the lyrics. Fucking asshole. So we went back outside, and they brought us each a slice of pizza. But when we went back in, there's jack shit to eat. They ate everything. So yeah, little stories like that what we have between us, But that Can't Bring Me Down. It's one of our old classic songs that wasn't written originally by either one of us. It was just written on guitars and a bass. It didn't have any drums or anything. So we managed to be able to get that, to keep that one song and keep it in the loop. It's one of the oldest ones, and you can hear the difference in a lot of our songs. If you were to listen to the album correctly, you can hear like the sound uniqueness, but if you were to play them in the core and the way they came out, you can hear the growth of the band. Like for real, from their punk days till their more metal days, just metal, man. It was just metal.
I was gonna ask also, you guys have been playing that song for how long now, or how long did you guys play that song?
For us in specific, when we started officially,
The
2013.
Huh?
2012.
2012. Oh no. 2009 was the first time we played that song.
Oh damn.
Did you all notice it like evolving?
Fuck
Yeah. We recorded it twice. And on the second time, my vocals were also much more improved. The guitars were more on pitch. We actually had a sound that we wanted. Angel's drum set was actually more tuned. The sound wasn't off. Like, we got better at using our equipment as well. Yeah, we trained together. We grew up together. Soulfear was my main project. They were my side project. And eventually Soulfear, disbanded. And Below the Grave, like I always told myself, Below the Grave. Like, they're going to be the ones. I know they are. I just know it. And where we spent maybe 4 or 5 years writing music, trying to just do something, we were able to write one killer song, which was Beginning of the End. That was the song that everyone was just like, what the fuck did we just hear? You know what I mean? That song, I always tell everyone in the middle of the song, just like everyone always lights a lighter in the middle of Beginning of the End because it's a song about letting go. And when we wrote that song, I told the guys, I was like, it's an apocalyptic song. We gotta let go. Imagine a person letting go of his child into the air, and he's within 4 walls, and you can hear destruction happening, and the walls falling at some point in the middle of the song. That's him releasing, and where you're supposed to hear nothing but destruction, but where the walls have fallen, now you're hearing this beautiful melody. I'm like, but everywhere aside from that, where the walls are up and where he's holding his hands and he's crying, that you hear the metal. I tell them, you hear the metal, but this bridge, it has. The chaos is beautiful, remember? And there's like, the chaos is beautiful, and they're just like, okay. And that's where Jerry had that little piece, and he wrote that. The distortion. And we wrote that song. We have like 3 different versions of that song too. One especially with Devin from A Crown in Peril. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to find those tracks. I know they're saved somewhere. They cannot be lost. They're saved somewhere. I can find them.
Watch, Karen's going to be like, I got them right here.
Right? Oh my God.
I gotta say something about Karen. Karen.
Right?
So
I've never thought about that.
Karen, we need all those tracks, all right, immediately. No, but I just want to say, like, one thing to Karen and about Karen is she was one of our biggest supporters. And I know
Absolutely. No, she is the biggest
supporter. Her
tattooed herself
and there's
for
one
you
guy that I
guys.
don't want to leave out because I know he'll watch this, Mr. Jesse Spades.
Oh,
I know
Jesse
you're gonna
Spades, I
see
remember
this.
him,
And
yeah.
Spades, you were a character. He is a character. He was awesome to be around. He was always the hype man. He was such an awesome dude. So much love to you wherever you're at, dude. I hope you're still doing good. But Karen, man, like, let me tell you guys what she did. I'm sure a couple of you people know. We went and did a show thanks to And the Hero Prevails in Brownsville at this beautiful little bar outside. Awesome night, man. We had a great time. And immediately, it was in Harlingen actually. And immediately after the gig, and we immediately had we have this tradition where we always wanted to go out to eat. Most of the time it was Whataburger, but this time I think we wanted to go to Pizza Hut. So we went to Pizza Hut, and Karen unveils to us this huge surprise she's been waiting to show us.
Yo, yeah.
And so she's ended up getting 2 dragonfly tattoos on her upper chest area, in memory and in honor of our song, Fluffy's song, Jerry De La Cruz's song, Dragonfly, which if you haven't heard it, you can find it on YouTube.
It's amazing.
Beautiful, soft song. The story is very touching, which I'm not going to tell you the story. That's Jerry's song. I'll let him Yeah, no, I'm not gonna say. That's for him to tell you, and hopefully one day he'll come out and tell you guys about that. But Karen, that's a whole nother level of love.
Yeah.
And there's been times in my life, I'm not gonna lie, where I feel like, what's the point to life?
Yeah.
And then I remember that. I remember when she showed me those tattoos, and I thought, damn, I made a difference in somebody's life.
Yeah, very
with
much
one
so.
show, And I know Karen. I know Karen's been through some shit too.
Yeah,
I know
she
we all
has.
have been through some shit, and so that for me was like, I could have saved her life.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, very
And
much so.
Out of the, I mean, I don't know how many performances we did. We could have done hundreds of performances because there was nights where we were booked twice in one night, and then
Yep.
Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, or Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays. It
Yep.
was crazy. And there were some times where I think there was one night where we did a show in Corpus, and then immediately had to drive to San Antonio and do a show
Yeah.
that same night in San Antonio. And so having that support from people like Karen and Jesse and my buddy Luis and other friends that were like, they wanted to be there. They're like, hey, bro, I'll come with you. I'll be a roadie. I'll help you guys out. And it's like,
Yep.
dude, we got 2 cars and we're putting everything in here.
Yep.
So just them showing the love, even if they couldn't travel with us, like that that's what keeps me going, because I know even today in what I do now, I don't perform, but I'm still in the music business.
Yeah.
I know that even though I don't see it because nobody's going to show me a tattoo,
Yeah.
I know I might be making a difference in somebody's life still.
Oh,
you know?
absolutely. And I got to, I'd still, man, I love the hell out of Karen. That's my girl right there, dude. I tell her all the time. I call her Care Bear. Like, you're Care Bear, man, because she is a person. If she fucking cares about you, she's there.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't fucking matter what time of night it is. She is fucking there for you. And that's like I've told her, anytime you need me, man, I'm there for you too, girl. I mean, she's one of the first chicks that I met down here, and just we clicked automatically and became best friends. And I'm like, dude, that's my homie, man. That's my homie. And I know she goes through a lot of shit, and I love the fact that she always finds a way to come out on the other side. And that's an amazing quality to have. She heard I was doing my podcast, and she made me a dream catcher with the purple and green colors, which are the Jackal's Corner colors. And when we're shooting at my house, it's right there in the back. Because that's my homie, man, and that's another part of supporting somebody's dream. And a lot of people that have been in her life that walk away are fools, because she's a girl that will always be there. Like, you could fuck her over and she's gonna be like, I still got you. She's
Yeah, dude, for real.
She's such a sweetheart, and she deserves recognition. She really does.
Go to shows together, both of you?
Yeah, every now and then. I mean, she doesn't really get to get out very often.
Okay.
But when she does, yeah. I mean, it's been a minute since I got to hang out with her, and it's always fucking awesome when I get to see her. It's my favorite time of the day when I get to see her. I'm like, fuck yeah, my homie. I was like, me and you've been going to shows for a minute together, girl.
What's the last show you went to?
The last show that I went to was, other than Jay's show, because I go to all his shows. Other than Jay's show, I was actually at the Walrus and checked out Monodicey, which, bro, if you haven't checked out Monodicey, fucking do it. Dude,
Right now.
Monodicey,
That's my list.
Monodicey I would describe them, yes, right there.
Oh, there you go.
I would say Monodicey would be like if Tool and I would say maybe System of a Down feel to them, and Deftones all fucked and had a baby, you would get Monodicey.
That's an abomination in the most sacred way.
Right.
Guys, go check them out. They already got videos and everything. Go check them out right there. Check it out.
Yeah, man, they actually they have a show coming up May 1st at the Hop Shop. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
that's some memories right there, Hop Shop.
The Hop Shop, bro. Man, props to those guys have been doing it since before I was even born, dude.
Yep.
They got pictures from back in the day. They've been supporting local music, man. So the Hop Shop, you guys fucking rock, dude.
Yeah, they messaged me. They want me to do Jackal's Corner live from the Hop Shop.
So they were the first venue to ever pay Below the Grave. Aside from our dad, if he made money off his gigs, he would give us some money. He would, here's at least $20 for gas or something. He'd give us something.
Yeah, a little something.
But they were the first guys to ever pay us for a gig, which we didn't expect payment, because at first he was like, hey man, I'll hook you up with some burgers or something, just
Yeah.
since you're driving all the way out here. and we were little kids. I think I was still under 20. I was like 18s or something. And they gave us some money. He gave us like $30. We went out to Whataburger. We filled up on gas, and
That's
was.
what's
I
up.
mean, so thank you for supporting, guys. Like straight up. Thank
That's
you.
awesome, man. That is really awesome because I remember when I first moved down here, and I was started helping with booking shows and stuff down here, and I tell the band, well, how much do you want to get paid to play? And they're like, what do you mean?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I just want to play.
They're like, I was like, what do you mean? What do I mean? You don't get paid? They're like, we don't get paid for gigs down here. What the fuck are you talking about?
Like, what is that? That's magic.
Like, where are you from? You from the future, bro?
You're from the future.
And I'm like, whoa. Like, because at Corpus, I mean, every band gets paid. I mean, every venue knows you're paying them because, and I would explain it to bands like this. They're like, yeah, but we're getting out there. At least we're getting paid. No. You have to understand something. People are coming to that bar for you. That bar is making money because of you. That is why they hire bands, is to attract people in. So there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I want to get paid.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, you're the attraction. I mean, I always tell people, yeah, man, you should.
Like it's one of those unwritten laws. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't see it on a law thing, but it's kind of like it's a respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a natural thing. I mean, of course, a band knows when they're just starting. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
We all know that. And then
bands like Side of Impact, fucking Lone Star,
Wraith.
Yeah.
Wraith, you know, these motherfuckers, they should be getting paid by now. I'm saying it, guys. Y'all should be getting paid. You guys have been doing this shit 10 years now, and if you're still playing for the same venues, they're not paying y'all. You all gotta get paid, bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
At least
You guys
$10
got
or
videos,
something.
Man, your music sounds fucking dope. You guys got a following, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I haven't been able to get out to one of their gigs at all, to any of these guys, dude. And I've been really, really wanting to. All this COVID shit just got me paranoid. But, you know, now that I'm seeing all this shit coming out, I'm like, dude, all these shows coming up in the summer are going to be big. I would definitely want to catch something, man. And I would totally pay to watch all of y'all, like any of these bands, bro. I would totally pay, man. I'm totally down.
Dude, the music scene is so fucking amazing, and it's so much talent. It's like, I'm just like, what show do I go to? Like, it's so good.
The part that I love the most is when we get to like sneak in some of our fans, you know what I mean, or our friends and shit.
Yo.
That's my favorite part right there.
Yo.
We're just like, hey, come on this way, and they all come in.
The back door at Thirsty Monkey all the time. Through the alley. Come on, guys.
Quickly. You're at the band.
And then they
Just here, take the symbol.
right. Yo, that's pretty much how it was. Like,
Yeah, everyone would do it. If you guys didn't do it, you should have done it. At least once in your life. Like, come on, help your friends out.
Right.
Hook a friend up, you know what I mean? Pass a beer or something.
Right.
You know, everyone's there. Everyone's just trying to enjoy a good time. Yeah, I remember those good days.
And then they put the freaking stage at Thirsty Monkey and didn't tell nobody, and people are trying to sneak in, and they open that door, and the stage is like, bah! And they're like, oh, what the fuck?
Change. I don't like this.
Not at all. Not at all. I don't like this change. But it sucks because like they did all that work to put that stage in, and then that whole crap where they were trying to close down live music on downtown.
I heard about
happened, and Thirsty Monkey just stopped throwing shows, and they had put that badass stage in and everything. They finally put a canopy over the stage area where it would stay nice and cool instead of fucking 1,000 fucking degrees in that goddamn place. And it never failed. Every time I'd go to one of those shows, it never failed. The guy that didn't believe in deodorant had to sit right next to me. And in that fucking 100-degree weather, I'm just like, oh, this motherfucker. And they would always follow me. I'm like, dude, stay there. I'm trying to be nice, man.
So I'm curious, man. What is one of your favorite bands right now? Because I'm like I said, I want to start checking out shows. So what's a good local band to check out? A group?
Well, one of my favorite bands, obviously, like I just said, Monodyssey. Okay. They're amazing. But also Red Hour.
Red Hour. Okay.
Red Hour, man. They're pretty hardcore. They're
from here? They're local?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're from all over the valley too. That's the cool thing.
Nice.
You also have Aries. Aries is fucking awesome. Aries is old school heads too.
Oh no shit.
It's
Who's
fucking,
that?
Fucking Fern Sauce's new band.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Hell yeah. See, that's what I mean, dude. That's awesome that they're all still fucking performing, dude. They're still doing shit.
Yep. And then freaking Maiko is in Red Hour.
Is that them? No, that's gaming. What am
No.
I talking about? Holy
No, Red Hour, and Red Hour has freaking Maiko from back in the day. He's in there.
Michael.
Maiko from Fern Sauce's bands.
Okay,
and
gotcha,
all that.
gotcha.
The drummer. Yeah, he was in, what was that other one that Fernie was in? Not Set in Stone, the one right before it. Something Call of Omens.
Call of Omens.
Yes,
nice.
he was.
Holy shit.
Maiko's the one that would play drums for Call of Omens.
Nice. Damn, bro.
I was still trying to get these guys in grind with those days.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were still lacking.
And then
all
Viber
kinds
Haven,
of-
they're still kicking ass.
Viber Haven, bro. Holy shit.
There's still some kicking, man.
Fuck
Yeah, dude, they fucking amped it up because
That's tight.
Tommy Garcia from
Yeah, I remember.
Bodacious Squids,
Uh-huh.
he joined the band of Viber Haven.
Nice.
And their music was already badass, and then he joins it with his fucking mastermind music, and it's
Yeah.
they
There
just,
was this other band.
Damn.
Back then, it was a girls' band. I feel like everybody knows them around the valley. It was like a female front man, I think. And she had or not front man, front woman, and I think she played bass too. We did a gig with them out at Westico at Juan Montelongo's little comic shop. Remember they had a little comic shop with some friends.
fucking A, yeah, I remember that
Yeah,
show.
so they had invited us out to do a gig at a hotel. It was a Comic-Con or some con of some sort, convention for anime, which got shut down because we were too loud. So they came in and they told us, you guys can't play music here. And then Juan was like, fuck it, we want to jam. Let's go to the comic shop. So they opened up the back door. And, we were the first band there, but they like immediately, hey guys, y'all want to come. So they texted like 2 or 3 other bands. And I remember that one band showing up and they had like 2 or 3 girls. Yeah. We're gonna have a gig, bro. We didn't drive all the way out here. Yeah. And so Juan straight up set up a fucking party like that on the spot, bro. Juan, fucking props, bro. And he set up a little gig like that, dude, on the spot. And whether it was planned a gig or not, or a little hangout, the band showed up and everybody jammed out, dude. And so like I remember that band. I heard they were still doing something recently. There was that band I know Eric was in. They have the Zelda name. I loved them. Are they still doing something? Zorro? Or Zorro?
Dezora.
Dezora. There you go.
I haven't heard anything, but then again, COVID has happened, so a lot of bands that are still around just aren't putting anything out right now, or they're in writing
In
studios
hiatus or
and
something. Yeah.
stuff like that. Which I think that's amazing that there's a lot of bands that are that are smart and being like, we can't perform right now, so let's write a fucking album. I'm like, that's fucking great, because the biggest thing is when COVID wasn't here and gigs were going is trying to balance gigging and writing new music. And now these musicians can write all their shit, make their videos, and then when this is over, these guys got a whole fucking army of merch to come out the gate with and get somewhere with it. So, I mean, that's part of what this is all about. The Jackal's Corner is that place for them to stay relevant and let their fans know, hey, this is who we are. We're still here. We're writing music. We'll be back soon. Also, it's so that I can link the valley with places all over the place. So I have a band coming on next month, and they're from Iowa. Nice. And these guys are fucking amazing. They're called Dirt Nap. And they sound like fucking Alice in Chains. Nice. Like, I freaked the fuck out when he sent me. He was like, yeah, I don't know if our music's good enough to be on your podcast, but we would love to be on your podcast. And I listened to it, and I was like, oh, fuck. I messaged him. I was like, hey, bro, this is Alice in Chains, bro. He's like, no, really, it's our shit, man. Like, that's me singing. And I was like, sounds like fucking Alice in Chains. Fuck yeah, you could be on my podcast. What the fuck? I was like, fuck yeah. But yeah, man, and that's my thing is I want to get it where bands like that come on here, because everybody knows they're going to look at my podcast. They're going to watch and see how the podcast goes and all that, which gives them a chance to see these bands. So hopefully with that, they're when they go on tour or they got a gig, they're like, hey, I remember this band on that podcast. Let's bring them on and give them a shot, and then that gets them out of the valley. And that's the biggest battle right there, is getting out of the valley. Yeah. And once you get out of the valley and people start hearing your shit, you have a higher chance of actually getting your music further out there. Mm-hmm. And that's my whole job here, is to get that out there. I've always wanted to do that for the valley. Yeah. I mean, I love it, man. I mean, I've never seen people so passionate about what they do than I did when I moved down here. It's the way people are. It's life for them. It's not just one of those things that they're like, oh, you know what? Okay, today's Saturday. I got a gig at Hop Shop. Time to put on the rock star hat. You know, it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That is who they are. They, you know, I remember you like when we walking down the street to go low gear and stuff, and you with your drumsticks just on anything you could see, and that's amazing. You know, is that it's so ingrained into you that it's just second nature to you. It's what you truly love to do. And there's too many musicians out there that they have the talent. They have the talent, but it's not from passion. It's just, they're like, oh, well, I learned to play it, you know, so I play it, you know. I've met people that say, well, I can play a guitar, so that's what I do. Well, do you like it? Well, I know how to. Well, that's not what I'm asking, you know, because anybody can learn to play it, you know, but do you have passion behind it? Is this something that you could do 20 years down the road with getting no pay? Because if this is not something that you could do for 20 years without getting any kind of pay, this ain't the field for you. Just like musicians that say, oh, I do this because one day I'm going to be rich. Buddy. You are in the wrong field, buddy. Like, I love you, but yeah, dude, you're not gonna get there. Yeah, it's very rare that a musician makes enough money where they can literally just say, "This is what I do for a living." You know, Scott Whalen of Stone Temple Pilots said it perfectly. He says, "As big as Stone Temple Pilots is, we still have to tour." He said 90% of the year just to pay bills.
Damn. Holy.
That says a lot.
Wow.
I freaked out. I was like, fuck. Well, what the fuck am I supposed to do then, man?
And I believe it, man. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, equipment alone.
Yeah, absolutely. And we live in a digital area right now that everything is able to be downloaded. Like people's albums before they're even fucking released are downloaded. They're leaked and downloaded, and I tell musicians this all the time: safeguard that shit. They have programs now that you can actually, when it's recorded, it encrypts it, where you cannot download it. If they download it, it'll download, but all it'll be is just dead air, which serves those fuckers right. Like you should pay for that, you know. Yeah. You know, it's cheating that artist. And that artist worked hard on that. They put money into that. It wasn't free. It's not like going into a studio is free. Like, it's definitely fucking expensive, you know? And I believe that if something's worth it to you, you should pay for it. And if a band, you truly love that band, then you'll pay for all their merch. You'll pay for it all. Supporting doesn't just go as far as liking a Facebook post. It goes to going to that show, buying that merch. Not just buying that merch, wearing that merch. You know, you get a lot of people that they just say, okay, buy the merch, and then they throw it in the back of their car, and then they never wear it. I mean, yeah, that's great. You just gave the band money, but what are you doing about bringing more fans? You know, there's only so many times you can buy the same shirt. You need other musicians out there that are, and people that are doing that. And musicians that don't support other musicians, in my opinion, are fucking trash. That is just bullshit. You should, like, how the fuck are you not going to support your bros? Like, what the fuck is that shit? I remember you guys always staying and watching all the bands jam.
Well, at least we
all the
tried.
time.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
I remember you guys would stay as long as you could, and then you would hit me, you come up and be like, hey, man, we got to go, you know. And I understood. You guys lived way the fuck out, you know. You guys had all that gear and unloading and everything like that, because you weren't like a lot of other bands. A lot of other bands, they'll just leave their gear in their fucking car, you know. You guys would unload it, bam, every time, and load it every time.
Every single time.
Our gear vehicles are actually our parents' vehicles.
Yep.
So they needed them every, you know what I mean? So
Yep.
even if we were like, hey, we got a gig, they're like, you better be home by 2 a.m. with my car because I need to be up in the morning for work. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So our van that we use, Our dad used it for work. We used it for the DJ service. We used it for the pool table service.
Yep.
So it was like, hey, if you're using that van, get it back here, unload that shit because tomorrow I gotta load some shit in it. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So it was tough. And I know a lot of other bands. I remember, dude, and I don't see it anymore at all, dude. But one of my favorite things on Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, going to a gig, was randomly bumping into another band and seeing their truck filled with gear and shit, and then being like, "Hey, like, you know, like,
Yes.
are you going to a gig? I got a gig too." You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
I remember driving around, no matter where you're at, and you can see other bands getting ready for a gig, traveling to another gig. You see a
Yup.
car full of speakers and drums and a whole crew in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that was awesome times back then, man, and that's why I can't wait for this to get done with. I mean, I'd rather play it safe, you know, and I monitor what shows I go to now, and that's just because I mean I have lupus, so I have zero immune system. So if somebody has anything, I'll get it like that quick, and it could be fatal to me. So I don't fuck around with it, and huh?
Should I move back a little bit?
No, you're good.
I'm kidding.
I don't fuck around with it, and that's why I've already went and got my first COVID shot. The 11th, I go get my second one, and this one dude, he thought he was gonna be a smart fucking ass with me and start talking shit to me about it. He was like, "Oh, you're gonna get that? You don't even know what's in." I said, "Let me tell you something, bro. I hang in the metal scene. Majority of the shit that's gone in my body, I don't even know what the fuck's in it already. Like."
Don't fuck with me.
Yeah, I'm like, I've put some pretty fucking horrible poisons in my body already, so I think I'm okay, you know.
That's true.
You know, and the way I see it is this: if it's not for you, then don't get it. That's fine, whatever. That's your choice, and I believe everybody should have a choice. But also, don't be offended when venues and clubs say, "Well, you can't come in,"
Yeah.
because. Yes, granted, that's your personal decision for your personal body, but when you go into the public, you are surrounding yourself and putting other people in that harm. So you need to take responsibility and say, okay, well, I understand. That's my decision, but your decision is you got to protect these people in your building. And you got to deal with it. Every decision we make is a consequence. And yes, we have the freedom to make them, but they have the freedom to put that consequence on us too. So you have to understand that, you know. You know, just like I told this one guy, he wanted to start talking shit to me, and he's like, I have a right to say whatever I want to you. I was like, you do, and I have a right to whoop your ass after you get done. So there you go, you know. It just goes back to the way we were taught, you know. For every cause, there's an effect, and you have to know that. And this COVID is not something that is just, well, it's what I got. It's not that. It's you can give it to other people. And now it's involving other people's lives, and you don't know what that other person is. You know, you don't know. For all you know, that person could be dealing with cancer, and then they get COVID, they're gone. You know, their body can't fight that off. It's already trying to fight the cancer. You know, so I always say, be considerate about other people. Be considerate. You know, don't. Yeah, it's an inconvenience on your part, but at the end of the day, it's worth it. We got to take care of each other as a human race. You know. And especially with us just average people, because we know for sure the rich ain't giving a fuck about us. You know, they don't give a fuck about us. So we got to look out for each other. We got to protect each other and make sure that we're all good. You know, and I really didn't get no side effect from it at all. Like, maybe like a little sore arm, but I'm like, dude, I hang around with metalheads. I'm used to being fucking punched in the fucking shoulder and shit. You know?
Still do mosh pits?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, my doctor straight out telling me, he's like, listen, now I have a defibrillator now. So they tell me you can't get into mosh pits because if you get too excited, it could go off and it could shock anybody around you.
Dang.
And I was all like, really? You don't say. Okay. So I go to the next day, I go to a metal show, boom, get in the pit. Wow. I was like, go ahead, touch me, motherfuckers. Fuck yeah. But yeah, man, it's been good. I mean, it sucks that I can't go to any of the real big badass shows and none of the really kick-ass stuff's happening right now. But in the long run, I'd rather it not and know that I still have my homies alive, you know. With just the short amount of time I've lived in the Valley, I've buried too many fucking homies. And I don't plan to bury anymore for a while, you know, because it sucks. It really does when you get a bond with somebody and they're taken. There was a meme I saw that it spoke so much volume. It says you don't know real pain until you have to shut a coffin on somebody you loved, and that's so real. I'm like, yeah, that is true. You will never feel that kind of pain with anything else, and it stays with you for life. And I'm just gotten into a point where I care more about my friend's life than I do about going out to a show or any of that. Besides, I know all these musicians, so it's not like I can't tell them, hey, come into my house and do like a fucking acoustic set for me, man.
Right.
Yeah, which I do a lot. I do that quite often. I love that. And a matter of fact, I'm going to be turning my house into a place where bands that are still trying to make money do this, where they can go and play live at my house, shoot it live, and just put their cash apps and stuff down there and get money. That way they're having their money come in. They're safe and making money, because I know they're musicians, a lot of musicians down here, that's how they pay their bills. Yeah. And right now they can't pay their bills because they cannot perform. Yeah. Or they don't, or bars and venues aren't able to pay them what they would have normally paid because they've been closed. Yeah. And they're barely getting their inventory and their income coming back. And so it's really fucked up, the whole service industry, and artists and all that in general have gotten fucked so hard with this, like so fucking hard. Mm-hmm. And it's venues that are opening back up and straight out saying, I'm booking bands. Yeah. Those are the heroes. Yep. Places like the Quarter, Bar 76, 5x5 Brewery. Who else, Jay? Smoking Moon is doing gigs.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, you got. Yep. Yeah, but Flying Walrus. You know, these venues deserve a shout out because their first order of action was, let's get this live music going again. And that's fucking great, because for one, we barely have places to perform, you know. And also obviously Hop Shop. I mean, but we all knew they've been waiting to fucking promote shows. Yeah, it's kind of what they do.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, the Kraken out there in Brownsville.
Never heard of that one.
Bro, that one's pretty cool place, man. Yeah. Yeah, Kraken Lounge. Yeah, those dudes are fucking lovers of the fucking music scene.
That's fucking
like awesome. They're amazing. I fucking love those guys. They remind me of Karen with Barlow's.
Nice. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Like they messaged me and were like, hey, you know what? That's so fucking cool what you're doing with the local scene and putting them on there. Let us know whenever you want us to come on. We're fucking down to come on.
Hell yeah,
and push some more local music. I was like, fuck yeah, because this podcast isn't just for our musicians. Yeah. This is for anyone local, period. If you have a local business, I don't give a fuck. Get on here. Like June, I'm dedicating out to mental health awareness. Oh, hell yeah. So I'm gonna bring on people that work within the mental health field on here to teach people where they can go get help and all that, to let them know that they're not alone. You know, I want to also bring on people to let veterans know where to get help. Nice. and all that, because I think in order for us to properly heal, we have to heal our mind first. And so the only way that they're going to heal their mind is if people know where to start. There's a lot of people, especially here in the Valley, that they have no idea where to start to get help. And so I think that's a big key that I need to do as a person who has a podcast. I need to do this. I believe that when you're put into a position like that, you should use that ability to push good out there. And I'm a person who I suffer from mental illness myself. And so I know the battle, and I know how it feels to feel alone and like nobody understands what you're going through and where do I get help. And I don't want to see another friend lose their life to mental illness, you know, and I think that anybody who has any kind of public figure output in there should use that to do this, to push this agenda and let people know it's okay. You know, you didn't choose this life. You didn't choose to have a mental illness, and anybody out there who thinks that mental illness is something that you could just turn off, they can go take a flying fuck off the tip of my dick, because it ain't the way it is. There's people that truly, truly suffer and truly feel alone, and I want to be that beacon of light for them, to know that, you know, even if you don't feel comfortable going to therapy, or you don't feel comfortable going to a professional, I'm here to listen, to be there for you, because I know what it feels like.
And I definitely like that, dude. Mad props, because most of the people, especially these musicians and bands you're bringing on, I mean, musicians write music from a place deep in their heart, a place that they don't tell people things about, a place that they don't share experiences about. And so when they portray that on stage, you know, they get to set an energy out there, but when they come back to their normal lives, they have to deal with those issues. And so you inviting guests over here allows them to speak on their music, allows them to elaborate, and allows them to shed light on what their music really means to them, and how it helps them. And I think that's awesome, dude, because, you know, let's say you get a couple other bands in here that are currently gigging right now, and then somebody goes and watches them live, and they say, like, they can find that person as an idol, whether it's just a keyboardist, you know? Yeah. Any other gig you go, you're like, oh, it's just a keyboardist, you know, it's just that person. Oh, it's just a guitarist. Oh, this is a drummer. But if you can have that's something to relate to with them, especially after watching your podcast, they might go to their gig and be able to really connect, not just with that musician, but with the whole group, with the music that's being portrayed. So
absolutely. What is it? What are they? Okay Robot? Is it Okay Robot?
Okay, Robot.
Yeah, they're one of the bands that have really helped me through a lot of shit.
Okay.
Robert? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. They've helped me with a lot of my mental issues, and then a lot of my just health wise. They've encouraged me to push on and everything, and they're amazing. When I got diagnosed recently, a few whiles back, with cancer, that I had to get it removed, and it was pretty dark for me. I mean, anytime you get told you got an illness that is potentially going to take your fucking life and you have no control over, it's very dark. And listening to their music was my escape. And I've told them this, like, I thank them. There was nights where, when I got diagnosed with it, that I wanted to end my life. I was like, fuck this, you know, I'm always sick. I'm always getting all these fucked up illnesses, and I'm like, I'm this positive dude that gets these illnesses. Like, what the fuck's going on? And it got to a point where I just said, you know what? Fuck it. When I started listening to their music, I was like, you know, I get it. You know, this is just another hurdle that I got to go through, and I'm gonna make it through it. And sure enough, I went and had the surgery, and they ended up removing 100% of the cancer. Nice. And that's that positive working. And a lot of times we get confused with it because we're positive people, and bad shit happens all the time to us, and you're like, well, what the fuck, man? Like, I'm putting all this positive energy, but it's our rewards for being positive isn't on our time. Yeah. It's on the universe. Whenever the fuck the universe decides to bestow upon us something, a great knowledge or a great nugget of badassness, it's on that time, not our time. But yeah, man. Other than that, man, it's definitely been a good ride with this, and I enjoy that I get to bring people like you guys on, especially you guys, man. You guys are some old school cats from the scene, you know, and I love that. I love being able to bring the old school guys on, and fucking was like, yeah.
If I could talk about all of them, I would, man. There's so many to remember. Fucking
Laserhog's still doing it.
They're still doing it. Fucking legit, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, there's just so many bands, and they keep pouring in my head, and they pour so fast that I forget the name, and I'm just like,
dude, yeah. And that's the thing about the Valley, is that there's so much fucking music down here. So much. Yeah, it's so incredibly awesome. And the thing is that that people that aren't from here don't understand that we're not just country and Tejano.
yeah.
there's
Bad Bunny.
yeah. Oh fuck Bad Bunny,
I
man.
know, bro, for real. Like,
Oh
what the
my
hell's that?
god, what the fuck is Bad Bunny? Like,
I haven't even.
I don't know either. All I heard was Bad Bunny tickets, and everybody's talking about Bad Bunny tickets.
Bro.
I'm like, what the hell's a Bad Bunny, bro? It's like sounds like a stripper.
like when I found out about Bad Bunny because they did a segment for his tour where he was a
His-
wrestler with WWE.
Oh, he's a wrestler.
No, he's not a wrestler.
Oh.
They did that as a, like, you know how they bring in the celebrities
Oh.
for
okay.
WrestleMania?
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a promo, and then at the end of it, they mentioned his tour.
Okay.
But this guy is playing his music, right? And I just look at my wife, and my wife's like, "Yeah, it sucks." I'm like, "Yeah, dude. The guy sounds like he has a dick in his mouth 24/7. Like, it's horrible. It's horrible. It is horrible music."
See, I haven't even bothered listening to it with a name like Bad Bunny, and all the shit I see on media. I'm just it's hype. It's mainstream. It's being pushed by corporate America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't like that. I like the local music. Be real artists. Record
Yeah.
your fucking music.
Absolutely.
You know, shit like Russ. You know, self-made.
Yeah.
Shit like Dax.
Yeah.
Self-made. Shit like Masigo.
Yeah.
FKJ. All self-made. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I like, bro.
Yeah,
So
well-
I haven't even bothered listening because I know the second I pull it, and even talking about it, I'm giving him fucking honor or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
giving him some fucking sort of attention, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't click on his videos and put that shit on
Oh,
my history.
Fuck no, dude. Fuck no. Man, I used to get pissed at friends of mine because they'd go over to my house and they'd look stuff up on YouTube, and then it's like forever in my fucking list, and I'm like, oh, you motherfuckers. These fucking guys, they used to try to put, these motherfuckers used to try to put Cardi B in my fucking shit. I was like, I swear to God, I will
Google home that you can say like, hey,
play so-and-so.
wow. You would lose the shit. You would just like turn it off and shit.
I'd unplug it and like, nah, fuck that. Y'all just lost your fucking music privileges. Fuck
And
that
you're like,
shit.
Hey, shuffle my music, and he's gonna have like fucking Cardi B on there.
Like, and that's the thing is that like I pride myself on my playlists. Like my playlists are fucking epic playlists, and they're everybody jamming good shit, and then all of a sudden Cardi B comes on. I'm like, this motherfuckers, and it will never fucking erase from it. I cannot get rid. I'm like, shit is like fucking herpes. It just keeps coming back. What the fuck, man?
True.
But yeah, man. So, and that's another thing I don't understand. These women that are like Cardi B, she's all about women and empowering us. I'm like, how the fuck is her saying that the way she gets a man is because her pussy? How is that empowering you? How the fuck is that? And then you sit in the same breath, you're like, don't sexualize me. Like, you just now said that that's fucking a good thing when you said that Cardi B's cool for talking about her fucking cunt.
They need more metal in their life.
They do.
They need more metal in
Like
their
a
life.
motherfucker. I'm like, what the fuck? How the fuck? And then you're gonna get fucking mad at Nas for fucking grinding on the fucking devil and being like, that's offensive.
Musically wise, it's just like, yeah. LGBTQ wise, it's like wrong approach.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm just gonna drop this. Everyone's just choosing to complain about something.
Yeah, and that's what I tell people. all the
It's a
time. I'm
never ending
like,
argument.
Yeah, it's never gonna fail. No matter what, there's always gonna be somebody gonna argue. You go outside and say the sky's blue, they're gonna say the sky's green. They just like to fucking argue.
No, there's no sky.
Right? No sky. What the fuck? Right? And it was like this one guy, he was on Facebook and he's bashing all these people. He was like, oh, you guys are stupid. You don't understand. The earth is flat. You don't understand. And this guy, fucking greatest comment I've ever fucking seen on a flat earther. Fucking loved it. He fucking just comments. He's like, yeah, sure, bro. The earth is as flat as your fucking brainwaves. I was like, damn, bro. I was like, you can't fucking go sub-zero and freeze this motherfucker's life. Like, just fucking wham, bro. But, yeah, man, I'm just like, wow, man. Some of the shit that I see, I'm just like, holy fuck, how can you be that dumb? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Just watch enough Jerry Springer.
That's what happened. Fucking, I think, yeah, there's a lot of motherfuckers that need to be suing Jerry Springer right now because they're dumb as fuck because of it.
I never thought, but it's real.
It is. It's real. It's real. You get stupid as fuck from that shit.
Yep, you do.
Oh,
I'm scratching my ear too.
I thought you meant Jerry Springer like was real, like it wasn't like all set up.
Well, no, like that stuff. That stupidity. It's out there.
Oh.
It's
Oh,
out
yeah.
there. That's what we're saying.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
out there.
Oh, it's out there.
That's what we're saying. It's out there.
Like holy, I remember this. I remember this one time I was over at Fast Eddie's, and this couple is arguing, and the girl straight out says, "I told you could only fuck my mama one time, not 2 times."
What?
I was like, whoa. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay right here because this is a conversation I gotta hear the end of. Like, you have piqued my fucking interest. Like, what the fuck, man?
Oh damn.
I was like, oh
Do they
shit.
still do gigs, Fast Eddie's?
Huh? No, they don't have gigs anymore. I think the manager that came in, he was just like called it quits. Along the time that the freaking Events with Hurt guy Isaac Vaughn started doing shit, which fuck that guy.
I was hoping someone would say it.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah. Funny story. I mean, I got a story with that one, to be honest
Yeah?
with you. Yeah, for real. I remember one time there was a gig, and the only reason I'm gonna say it is because you don't do shit like that, and then all of a sudden in the end, like make the bands look like an ass, and you're the one who's an asshole. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, based from what I was hearing and everything, and even what I experienced, it wasn't something that I'd ever want to have anyone help promote me ever again for.
Yeah.
But I remember one time we were playing this gig, right? And it was his gig, of course. Oh man, my point here being said, I've dealt with many promoters, but I've never dealt with one like this guy before in my life.
Oh shit, bro.
In my life, I mean, for real. Like wow. Like this guy was able to get all the best bands together, and then in the end, all of us know that there's money, but none of us get paid for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're like, okay, dude, like Isaac Vaughn, you don't have just any band up here. You have Below the Grave, you
Yeah.
have Wraith, and you got the Side of Impact paying in one night for you.
Yeah.
Like this is a packed house. You got Adrian over there and Karen running sound, and you got Karen promoting this shit. Like Steven's probably here somewhere jamming with us.
Yeah.
Vicente Fernandez, or is it Fernandez? What's his last name? Chente.
Chinte.
What's his last name? I
Uh,
don't know. I always say Fernandez. I could
I
be
always
wrong. But
forget.
Mr. Vicente, he plays with another band. What band is that? He plays with a nice heavy band over in Brownsville or somewhere. But he had him running sound and recording us that night live.
Yep.
You know, and just kind of running mics and everything. Like he had the mics set up on the drums and everything. So, like, that was a lot going on there.
Yeah,
you know what I
and
mean?
then that was the thing is that back then I was helping him too. I was doing all booking and shit like that with him, and Karen was doing shit, and then I ended up leaving before Karen from him because
I heard.
he fucked me over so bad. He fucked me over royally. Like when I was doing his shit before we brought Karen in, I would literally book the bands, make sure they got on stage, fucking make sure they got paid out. Fucking make sure we had a sound guy, make sure the sound guy got paid. I did everything, and all he did was show up and act like an ass clown. And
Yeah, honestly, that's one thing we all gotta say. For all the good bands, all the bands that are alive, you don't want to work with that guy.
Yeah, not at all.
We all made the big mistake of working with Isaac Vaughn, and we lost like several venues to be able to play at because of, for some reason, drama that we've never discovered for ourselves because we never want to be part of. But
Yeah.
one thing for sure is that you don't get 3 to 5 great bands
yeah,
and know that there's money to be made and promise maybe 1 or 2 of them and expect for one of those bands not to tell the other bands that they were supposed to get paid and
Yeah,
ask us if
exactly.
we got paid.
exactly.
You don't do shit like that. That's what we call a snake, and that's what I was gonna say. That's
Yeah.
a snake. And I remember one day we were playing. It was the last gig I ever played with the dude. I never
Yeah.
played a gig with the guy again, but we played a gig and it was the last one. I remember going outside with him. I sat in his vehicle, I believe, sparked him up and everything. And he was trying to talk me into letting us be promoted by him. And he was talking, right? He was talking. One thing that we used to always get shit for was everyone always telling us that you guys wear your own band T-shirts and this and that. And I look at them, me being old school, of course. I'm just like, you're gonna buy it? They're like, how much? I'm like, 10, 15. I'm like, $15. They're just like, nah, dude. I'm like, well, then who the fuck else is gonna wear it?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I would talk like that to them. I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. Like, you're not, like you said, you're not supporting me then. Like, if you're not gonna support, you're not gonna, like, I'm not asking you to be a fan. This is a support. This is what I do.
Yeah.
Like, don't diss me for wearing my shit if you're not gonna wear it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? We got some. You want one? No. Okay, well, fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, forgive me for being a cool, the badass guy that you enjoyed seeing the show, but turned out to be a dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because you
exactly.
like, I'm sorry, but I have to. That's my point that night. This guy, he asks, we sit in the car, spark him up, we're blazed and everything. We had already finished playing. No, I had broken the rule. I started smoking before we would sing. I started breaking my rules back in the day, bro. There's a reason why I don't know too many of the bands, because I was going through a drug addiction when I was with Below the Grave.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, so that's why there's a lot of things that I'm not. I'm just sitting quietly about, because although I was at every gig, like, I was fucked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I went through the whole Kurt Cobain. I
Yeah.
did the Kurt Cobain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Well, yeah.
That ended tragically.
Yeah,
Very.
I'm a Johnny Cash, I guess, or something. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. We lived the whole story, you know what I mean? That's why in the end I'm just like, nah, bro, you did it wrong. You're supposed to get famous, then you get hooked.
Right.
You know, like I tell everyone that I'm like, nah, dude, we're doing it all wrong. Yeah. But so anyways, back to the story. I sit in the vehicle, right, and he's trying to talk me into letting him be our promoter, advertise us. And then he shows me a flyer, and I'm listening to him. He shows me a flyer, and he goes, yeah, look, check it out. Where are you guys on the flyer, right? I'm looking at the flyer. I'm like, we're in the center. And I'm just like, oh. I'm looking at it, like, all stupid, right? I'm like, all stupid, like, oh. I look at him, and he's like, where are you? I'm just like, I just put my hands down. I'm like, I just say it flat out. I'm just like, you must have mistaken me for a fool. And he just like, oh. And he gets all tough and starts putting up, puts the poster down. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like, but you must have mistaken me for a fool. I'm like, because you see, we're right here. I open up my shirt, my jacket. I open my jacket up, and because I wear a trench coat when I sing.
I remember, yeah.
I wear a trench coat. So I open up my trench coat, and I say, we're right here. I'm like, thank you for putting me on the middle of your poster, but my band's right here on me. I got the shirt right here. This is where we're at. I'm like, I know what I got, Isaac.
Absolutely.
I told him like that. I'm like, I know what I got. I'm like, you think I'm going to let my boys be led by someone like you? Like, nah. I know what I got.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was like, so here. I'm like, let's just finish this joint, and let's go continue enjoying the show.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So never played a gig with him after again. He never asked us to play a gig with him again. After that, he lost also Wraith. He also did lose the Side of Impact.
Yep.
And that's a real story. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's a real fucking story. Like a real legit, like on the road, good bands getting together, knowing that we all should get paid.
Yeah,
One of the
absolutely.
other bands asked us, hey, did you guys get paid? You were going to get paid? What the fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Karen saying, I didn't even get paid, but I was supposed to get paid.
And see, what
Yeah.
I didn't like about that, again, being young and stupid, I took that as beef. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So me being, because I was one of the younger ones. I think I was the youngest one because everybody was older than me.
Yeah.
Josh actually was the youngest one. But I remember being like, yo, like, why the hell are they paying you and not us? Like, what the fuck? Fuck you guys. And
Yeah.
my anger immediately was directed at the band instead of at the guy who promised to pay them
Yeah,
over us, you know?
absolutely.
And again, it wasn't even like, oh, we deserve to get paid. Why don't we get? And I wasn't trying to be boastful, but it's like, dude, we're all doing the same shit here.
Yeah,
We're all
absolutely.
bringing in the fucking crowd. We're all good bands, and we're not trying to be cocky, dude, but like, each one of us is gonna bring at the very least 20 people through the door. And if you're charging fucking $10 a head, you know what I mean? Like, the
Yeah.
least you can do is pay out $20 for gas,
Yeah,
bro. Like,
dude.
come on.
You're not making $200. You're at least making $300 with at least 3 or 4.
Yeah, because
Oh,
he's
yeah.
charging it. He's paying. He gets tickets, and I think it was $10 pre-sale, $15 at the door.
At the door, yes.
Right, and then exactly. And I'm not trying to grind on anybody. I hate having a hate on people, but it's an experience that we went through.
It
where
is.
no matter the music industry you go through, you're gonna find that retaliation. You're gonna find people that don't value your talent. They don't
Yep.
value your work.
Yep.
And they might undermine your work, or they might think, it's okay because they're younger. It's okay because. And so if you're a young cat and you're gigging right now, man, don't let people undermine you, bro. You're working just
Absolutely.
as hard as the next motherfucker who just been doing this for 10 years. Just because you don't got 10 years behind you doesn't mean that you're not fucking putting the work in.
Yep.
Don't let anybody undermine you, especially in today's world, man, where you don't need a fucking label. You don't need to go to a fucking studio.
Nope.
You can invest $2,000 in yourself, learn how to record your own guitar shit, tell your buddy, hey, now you invest in $2,000. You go record your drums. You don't need to go spend $10,000 to record 2 or 3 songs. And I'm sorry for all the major big studios that got like an actual fucking warehouse somewhere and they're set up with $1 million studio, but I mean, that's just out the door slowly. And my little brother's proof of that, bro. He learned how to do everything from his fucking bedroom. He never left to college. He did everything from bedroom. He signed into his college classes online.
Yep.
He did everything from his fucking bedroom. So I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody with the big studio. Yeah, if you have a big band and you got some serious work to do it. But as we near the future, man, people are starting to do this shit on their own.
Absolutely.
Look, you guys got a fucking badass setup over here, and you're just trying to do a little podcast. Imagine if you wanted to run a whole fucking system. You guys would be set. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And
yeah, dude,
well,
you guys can have a little band playing in the back.
eventually,
in between, you know, like,
eventually it's going to get there.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You guys don't need a label. You don't need a fucking sponsors. And again, that's why another thing I think that's fucking cool is that you're like, hey, man, shout out to all these other groups because they're locals just like you. You're not going to a major corporate company and being like, hey, HEB, can you sponsor me something? And put me? You're like, no, dude, hey, brewery. Yeah, bro, I love your beer. Let me sponsor you too. And then he's like, hey, I'll hook you up with some. Hey, and you know, that's fucking tight, bro. That's partnership right there. And that's the way it should be done. It shouldn't be behind the back door. What do they call it? Under the table dealings. You know what I mean? None of that should. Everything should be open in the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're not able to record your own stuff, record it local.
Yeah.
There's so many producers out here in the valley.
That's true.
If
True.
you don't have the means, and if you yourself, especially if you're young and you can't save up, then fucking, hey guys, look, let's go record a song. Let's all put our money together. Let's get at least one track done. I'm not trying to undermine big studios. They're there. People need them.
Yeah.
But as you get older, especially because we were teens when we started, we didn't have money. We didn't have shit, dude. All we had was equipment. You know, we only had our performance equipment.
Yep.
So we had to pay somebody, and unfortunately, the guy we paid was also an amateur. He wasn't that great. So we spent money to get amateur recordings or less than amateur recordings. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's another thing. You got to do your research on who you're going with.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
somebody's going to charge you $300 just to do a full song, but it might come out like shit. Whereas you can pay $500, sure, it's a little more, but you're going to get a good mixing, you're going to get a good mastering, you're going to get a good tracking, you're going to get everything.
Absolutely.
You know
Which
so.
A really great producer down here is Widowmaker Studios, Josh Lopez.
Yep.
Yes, definitely, man. Fucking amazing what you're doing, Joshua. All that shit you're doing, bro. I know another one out there. I don't know much about him, but Charlie Vela's name's been around a lot. I know there's been some talk of you that, you know, some working in the past and whatever. But, dude, fucking amazing what all these guys are doing. Charlie Vela, fucking Joshua Lopez doing that shit with Widowmaker.
Yep.
I just everything.
Big things happening. Big things are happening.
Dude. So fucking awesome, dude. And the Hero Prevails. I know they're always going out and trying to do shit.
Yeah.
All these bands, and then these young upcoming bands too, man. The fact that they're like, nah, we're gonna go perform. Fuck this. Fuck COVID.
Definitely.
We're gonna put our music out there. Everybody's doing their part to stay safe.
Yep.
So mad props to them, especially because I know a lot of these kids that might be still in high school have had also a rough transition, bro. They've had to go from going to school to all of a sudden, there's no school. You got to go online. You know, some of these kids, I have students because I'm a music teacher, so some of my students are teens, and I've seen that depression hit them, bro.
Yeah.
And I saw how music changed that, bro. Like, they practiced, man.
Yeah.
So that's why I know when you're saying, like, the scene's killing it. I imagine it is, because ever since COVID hit, these kids who are upcoming bands, I bet they've just been sitting at home like, bro, fuck this. This sucks. I can't. And just taking that anger out and all that emotion out on their music.
Yep.
So that's why I'm like, dude, I want to get back to the gigs. I want to see what's coming up now.
Oh yeah, man.
It's part of it, honestly. So.
It's amazing, man. I freak out with the way the scene is now, and the talent is just like it's like what the fuck's going on? You know, it's a crazy thing when I have to literally like roll the dice to guess which show I'm gonna go to. You know, like
it's like we were saying, like there's no more legends nowadays. You know, we're getting like we can find like 6 to 9 Steve Vais and 7 to 12-year-olds nowadays just on YouTube. You know, like it's getting a lot more not even competitive. There's no reason to compete anymore, just to be yourself.
Absolutely.
Sure, exactly.
That's all it is now. You know what I mean?
You just gotta be yourself.
Yeah, and if you're trying to still make it through the corporate style, then of course you're always gonna feel competitive. But
absolutely,
that's why me personally, I have many projects. Like I got my writing, I got the music, I got my I guess my philosophy, or what I would like to call my philosophy. I've got the health routine. Like there's so many little things that I want to publish, you know, and put out into into the works, I guess you could
Right.
say. My ultimate goal being to where I have my own smoke shop, have my own medicine with this actual routine process with all my work backed up into it. You know what I mean?
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
my personal goal. And so like I said, you know, that's how that me personally, after coming out of the band, that's my personal way and how I empower others now.
Yeah.
And this is how I'm gonna help also, you know, while you're doing this. I'm still trying to get the works out on Facebook and stuff and how to see how it all works out.
Uh-huh.
But you know, this is also one way that I'm also able to help too, is by utilizing my Facebook and stuff and my features that I have for myself by not necessarily advertising, but sharing the web, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
the web grid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So I guess like it's just phenomenal how times have changed. How now there's like it's pretty much just all about being yourself.
Yep.
It's crazy that you know, one little thing I did want to say about that ties to all of this is how, you know, through time itself, you know, Below the Grave was legitimately together for like maybe like over at least 10 years or over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure. We grew up together. We saw like lineup change like crazy. In the end, we still are a band. We didn't disband because we wanted to. Jerry's living in Indiana still. He had to leave because down here Texas sucks, and he needed to take care of some personal stuff. And
Yeah, definitely.
went and took care of his shit. You know what I mean? And then of course, Damien eventually also became, which is his little brother, became our new guitarist. That guy is crazy. You guys have no idea. You have seen so many different guitarists in our lineup, but Damien was never able to play for us because he was too young to get into any of the gigs. But Damien has been in training to be a Below the Grave guitarist since he was like in high school, a little kid, like since he was maybe like 15, maybe. Like for real. He's been a little kid in training with Jerry forever. He knows all the songs, mastered them, playing he can harmonize them, everything. Like that guy, he's our real guitarist. We just could never get him on the bill, but he did finally make it old enough to play at Aces North, right? Or was it Aces North? Or El Cine Rey? Yeah, he got to play El Cine Rey. Yeah, so Damien did get to play one gig with us, like, and he got to play, and it was one of the gigs that we got to that we were restarting up before we all had to go our separate ways.
Yeah.
My brother had to start focusing on his career. I had to start focusing on making sure I'm gonna come out of the life a little bit more better. You know, not living in the slums like the way I was. Our two other brothers had to find their ways as well, you know, to get out of where they were at. And of course, Cheeto. We always forget about Cheeto because he's the quietest of us all.
Yeah.
That's why the other three are not here with us. This is, you know, he's my brother. But Cheeto, he had a baby. He's a father now. He's a pops. He still plays Smash. Still, I'm pretty sure he's still the same old bucko. I haven't seen him in a little while, but I'm pretty sure he's still the same. He's still a good guy for sure. Still one hell of a bassist.
Yeah.
He's only gotten better. I believe he's even started taking up students. Yeah. So I have just chosen to step away so that guy can grow. You know what I mean? Because honestly, like out of all of us, he was the youngest. Yeah. And there was a lot that he experienced with us in such a quick time. Yeah. And that he grew so fast. It was hard for him I can tell that it was hard for him to comprehend the amount of success in such a short moment, especially to feel so great and then to return back to our normal lives. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it was just boom, he skyrocketed with us for like 3-4 years and then all of a sudden just died. And we had been hoping and dreaming for that. He just jumped on board and just went for the ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I felt guilty about that because when we found Cheeto, we needed a bassist. Israel, the original bassist, had to step down because he wanted to focus on college and his career, and just, you know, it's time changing. Yeah, Cheeto was young. I think he was like 15, bro. He was still underage and everything. And it happened to come from Wraith, bro. So fucking Wraith. What?
Dude, it's at their cousin.
What's Virgil's cousin is Cheeto.
Yeah.
Their cousin. So Virgil was like, bro, look, I know you guys been looking for a bassist. My cousin just got a bass. He's barely starting, but I can see what he. Turns out, we're like, dude, let's try him out. Let's see what happens. Yep. We sent him songs. We're like, listen to at least these 2 or 3 songs, and you know, when you show up to practice,
we made it difficult for him to show.
We wanted to make sure he wanted it. So we told him, all right, we're gonna be. This is the location, which is like miles away from where he's at. He's 15 years old. He needs to find a ride, and he needs to bring his own equipment. So we were kind of being dicks. I'm not gonna lie. That was kind of a dick move on our part. So I'm sorry about that, Cheeto, and especially Cheeto's mom. Thank you for all your support. She brought his ass all the way to fucking what is it, Lopezville, fucking far ghetto. You know, he gets down. He doesn't say a word. He never said a word the entire time that he was coming in for his audition. You know, we get him set up. We're talking to him and everything. trying to get him to talk a little bit, and he's very quiet, and he ends up pulling a bag out. I recall him pulling a bag of chips out and start kind of munching out while we're waiting and get set up, and that's why I gave him the name. We just kind of like, hey, Cheeto. Like in my head, it just popped up Cheeto. You know what I mean? So we're like, all right, well, let's warm up. Have you been able to do anything? What have you got? He kind of like shows us a little bit here and there. But as we start playing the songs, dude, he learned and memorized the original bass guitarist parts from start to finish, note for note, bro. Just by listening to the fucking song.
Oh, damn.
Can't Bring Me Down, beginning of the end. I want to say there was one other one that we gave him.
Yeah.
Mistress.
It was Mistress, and then I also gave him 4 other songs that were going to be for covers that we wanted to
Yeah.
play, which we never did. It was just a dick move, like I said.
Yeah.
And he literally learned all those songs, and he's like, oh, I already knew these songs.
He was prepped, bro.
Yeah.
He
Nice.
came on point. He played everything. We jammed the whole song, and we were just like, so we got a gig in a couple weeks. Like, can you make practice in a couple? Just like, let's get this
Yeah.
shit going. And Cheeto was in it, bro. But from that moment on, he took on a huge role because Israel was a killer bassist already.
Yeah.
Israel was a killer bassist. Israel was a killer guitarist. Israel had killer energy, great charisma. So Cheeto coming in there, 15-year-old shy, timid kid, he had to really fill in a spot. And he managed to, it was just like 2 or 3 gigs, and he was already fucking killing it, dude.
That's what's up.
He fit in that place very well, very fast. But again, that came the time where I moved. I was the first one to move on. I moved out of the valley, which is kind of what spurred on the whole breaking apart. And I felt guilty because, again, he was young. He came on with such hope and inspiration. And even his mom was like, oh, this is awesome for him. This is good. He looks happy. He looks blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden it's gone. And he has no idea what to do. He has no idea where to go. All his friends are gone. His passion, his hobby is gone. His band, the one thing he was doing outside of school. You know what I mean? And I remember being up at night being like, fuck, bro. Like, I kind of feel like I want to cry. I feel bad, bro. Like, I let this kid down. Yeah. And so I feel happy now, again. That guilt. And it's like you say, you got to go through those storms, bro. Because now he works at the academy I work at. I'm hooking up with bass students. So he's going to school. He's learning more about music and theory.
Nice.
And he's fucking excelled amazingly. He's got a kid. He's finally doing good for himself. He got his feet planted. And again, just like Fubi said, we had to kind of step away to let him grow. And it sucked because we were holding him back. We were detrimental to his growth, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, Fubi was on drugs. I was a fucking little asshead, like I was a little dickhead. I hadn't, so we had to step back, and in doing so, he got to grow. And then seeing him and seeing Jerry grow, it allowed me to kind of grow. And so now I'm happy to be able to support him and give him like, hey, bro, I got some students for you, man. Why don't you come work over here as well?
Mm-hmm.
You make your own schedule, and dude, it's ever since then it's been great.
That's
so
good,
next is Jerry, Mr. Fluff. We're coming for you, bro. We gotta get back at it, man. We were best friends, and it sucks when you have best friends, especially when we were tight like that, dude. And you just drift apart,
Yeah.
So it's good that we're reconnecting like this, man, because this
definitely.
honestly tells me that there's obviously something stirring up in this music world, whether we're gonna be a part of it or not. Something stirring up, and it's awesome to see that this is starting to grow, man. Because you're not the only podcast I've seen. I think I've seen one other podcast already.
Yeah.
Brian's doing his shit too, bro.
Brian
Brian's
has
killing
one.
it, bro.
There's Ernie Acosta. He
Ernie
has
Acosta,
one.
so that's what I'm saying, bro. Like all you guys, like teaming up and shit, and all of you bringing the public out there and bringing the local support, dude. Fucking killer,
Yeah,
bro.
and
Like,
then there's Distortion Radio that plays local valley music all day, every day.
They just recently started.
Where's
Yeah.
that? Is that on radio?
It's online. Online, and then you got RGV Titan Radio. Yeah, you have Guac It's Extra. That's another one. They
Bro, you gotta. Oh man, you're going too fast for me.
yeah, but yeah, man, it's getting to that time where we'll go ahead and do the shout outs. Any shout outs that you guys want and anything. Yeah, and surprisingly, I think you guys broke the record for the longest podcast I've had. It's almost 2 hours already.
Okay, definitely. No, I mean, and I apologize about that.
That's because we're still a lot of history, man. Like,
Yeah.
when you get a band like I guess one of the ones that are still trying, like, there's a lot to talk about, And
Oh, yes.
the other 3 guys have a lot to say.
I would love to hear what all these other bands have to say, bro. If you can do something
Yeah.
with all these Wraith, Among the
Oh.
Lone Scar, fucking Inside of all these guys.
Oh, it's coming. It's definitely coming out.
I just wanted to say the way you started this whole entire little like this shindig right here with our talk with Wraith, the way you said how we got introduced, I'm just like, dude, you don't understand. Like I feel that Wraith and the Side of Impact are like my natural competition. You know what I mean? Like when I play alongside those guys, I'm just like, you guys don't get it. This is all of our stage, but I'm gonna fight you for it anyways. You know what I mean? Like, I love playing with those guys. I fucking love it. Like, Wraith is just, he's like that heaviness we're always trying to get no matter, but we just can't get it. And we just can't get it. But we, you know what I mean? But we got that melody, and I'm just like, we got what you don't, you know? And it's just like, oh, and then you hear the Side of Impact. I'm like, oh, you guys got that technicality that these guys want. But like, I'm like, oh, you know, so I love playing with them. And I'm like, I know, like when we play together, and I know like we've got something that you guys are looking for too, because there's always that great mix of energy, and we always are like that. I feel like I love playing with them because I feel like we're like the perfect trinity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, dude.
You got the heavy
Yes.
band, you got the technical, and you got your classic. You know what I mean? Like your little
yes.
misfits. You know what I mean? And it's the perfect sound. I love playing with those guys. I love the competition it
Oh,
feels.
hell yeah.
I love the vibes, especially when we played at the Aces North, the Battle of the Bands.
Yep.
Virgil's like screaming, man. He has a mean horror sound to his screams.
Man,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? I was looking at him and I'm just like, fuck you, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm small. I can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, I can only go so low and so high. I can only do so much, but I can act crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I could do something, you know? Like, that's why I'm just like, oh, you. And they won that show and everything, but like at the end of everything, like I was looking at that show and that was one of the greatest gigs I ever played, because I just knew that like the crowd was screaming, "Below the Grave!" Everyone was like, "No, Wraith!" And I'm just like, dude, no one won. Like this show wasn't meant for this Battle of the Bands. Every band that played tonight was
Fucking amazing that whole night.
dude, we got booed for the first time in our lives. I was just like, keep playing, don't cry. You know what I mean? Like, we got booed because we never started off so soft like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We started off like all Pink Floyd style because we brought in a whole entire new sound.
Yep.
Like, everyone was playing a different instrument. Even I was on guitar. You know what I mean?
Yep. But I do remember that time when you guys won that Battle of the Bands at Mangos.
Oh, dude. It started raining at the beginning of the end part with the lighters and shit.
Yep.
It's because that whole show we dedicated to our friend David, who had just recently passed away.
Yes, I remember.
So
The rain was perfect.
the rain was perfect. We had
And
a cello and everything.
You had,
you know what
you
I
had
mean?
Sabu right there with the cello. And
He was doing. Abran.
I said, when we got busted that out, I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
You're just like, these fools.
I was one of the judges for the thing, and I was just like, okay, all right, Below the Grave's kicking ass, and then y'all busted out. I was like, oh, yeah, fucking, come on, man. You already win this, dude. I mean, you have to fucking add that, too.
You're just like, come on,
And
guy.
that was one of those moves that we made that I could see why people would be like, look at these jerk offs trying to go over the top. And again, it was nothing. It wasn't like we were trying to blow people out of the water. It was because we were so hurt and we were trying to make this the biggest show for our friend David Reyes.
You guys had even said that when you guys started that song, you dedicated it to him, and that came out. And even the bands that were in there, they were sitting in the back area where the judging booth was. And they all said at the same time, they're like, yeah, we all lost. They're like, what the fuck, man? Like, because it was so emotional, and people felt it. Like, there was people fucking tearing up and shit. They felt that shit. And that goes back to what I'm talking about. Music like that will always fucking win out anything, because we are emotional beings, and we want to connect. And music is the only language, the only thing in this world that can connect anybody around the world to one song, no matter what language it is. You feel that, you understand it. It doesn't matter. You could be German and hearing a song sang in English, and you're gonna feel what that person's feeling if they're putting out those vibes right.
You're right. That's true.
You know,
You're right.
but yeah, man. We're gonna go ahead and close out today.
You gotta, because if you don't,
We're gonna keep going. Yeah.
we're gonna keep going.
So you guys want to give any shout outs or thanks?
Real quick, I doubt Buddy's watching. Busy man, but two people I'd like to shout out that helped get me actually learning and advancing on my personal instruments. Mr. Michael Valdez from South Far. He performs and tours with circuses. He was in Las Vegas. I mean, he's an amazing bassist. Big guy. They gave me an opportunity to audition, and I was part of the circus for a very short while as well. And during that time, him and Mr. Christian Garcia, who also performs at Smoking Moon a lot. And
You little thing about this. Okay, so check this out. See this guy right there?
Okay.
Mr. J. Moniz?
Yes, sir.
He's in a band called Valley Grit.
Okay.
Valley Grit happens to have Mike and Christian.
Are you fucking serious, bro? I'm telling you, man. Yes, man, dude. Oh, bro. So big shout out to you, Mike and Christian. I know y'all don't even realize it, but there was one night where we're jamming out in the trailer there at the circus in Donna. And well, they're tiny little. It's a big rig, you know. It's just.
But I'm just like, fuck yeah, we get
So we're jamming out, and these guys are fucking amazing already, dude. I was a percussionist. I knew rhythm and I didn't know shit on guitar, bro. I knew how to play basic shit. But him, a guy named Jordan who played saxophone, Christian was there. They invited me the night after I auditioned at the Flying Walrus back to their little studio. And it was Christian's birthday. We smoked out. He had a gas mask and everything. You know what I mean? Crazy ass shit.
Totally, yeah.
But anyway, so that night at the trailer, dude, they're all feeling it. We're all getting high, and you know, I mean, it's what you do, bro. You had nothing else to do. We practiced every day. We did gigs every day. So we got high that night, and we're jamming out in the trailer. And they're like, bro, take the guitar, go for it, do something. And I'm like, dude, I don't know how to play. Like, I don't know how to solo. I'll play the chords. Give me the chords. So I'm playing the chords, and they're like, fuck yeah, bro, you're good at that. You're good at rhythm. Do a solo. And I'm like, nah, dude, nah, like I can't. And they all start like, nah, dude, you're gonna play solo, go. So they keep playing the rhythm, and Mike and Jordan, they're all like, dude, play the solo. And I start playing a solo, dude, and it just came out, bro. It was fucking amazing having that courage, and the people backing you up. And from that moment on, I was like, dude, what did I do? How the fuck did I do that? I gotta learn this shit.
Yeah.
And then come to find out that Christian is a teacher and that he's doing all this. And I started following. I watched a couple of his videos, and there was one day where he came back from South America meeting with some big guitarist, and I'm like, bro, this motherfucker's like, he knows guitar like crazy. He's studying theory. This guy knows the fretboard. He doesn't know guitar. He knows the fretboard. It's like an extension to his body, and that's what I want. So they don't know it yet, but they were an inspiration for me to start learning music theory and guitar theory. And so in the past 2.5, 3 years, I've been teaching students on my own. Of course, I've been teaching myself. And before that, I had started teaching myself guitar theory. And I'm happy to say I'm on the road to becoming a jazz guitarist, thanks to them, and to becoming a better musician all around, dude. And I wish I could jam out with them again one day just for the fuck of it.
Yeah.
But huge shout out to you guys. And that's just a quick story I wanted to share before I finish.
Definitely, man.
That's crazy though, dude. That you're in a fucking band. Damn, bro, crazy.
Personally, I want to give a shout out to Steven here.
Yeah, definitely.
He did help us out also in the back in the day with helping promote our music too. He did spread out a good word for us and everything. Did allow for that good word, that good positive energy for us to be booked more often, even in small little houses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I want to give out a good shout out to you, brother man, especially for having us here. For a little while we've been dead, so thank you for giving us a small opportunity to feel alive again. Hopefully next time we can have the other boys here, or at least get another one or so they can also include their stuff. I want to give a shout out to Cheeto. Like we said, we apologize for putting you through all that, and awesome for it going just like the way it did. But yeah, really good to you, man. To Jerry, to Damien, keep on the good work. Hope to see you guys soon. Pops, you gotta remember, like, you know, smile as you cry. Mama, you know, eat better. You know what I mean? Eat better, smile more, you know. And to Karen, remember Karen, thank you for the long journey you helped us out with, the spark that you gave us that we needed, to be honest with you. Isaac Vaughn, thank you for showing me where it is that I need to also have some courage for myself and take pride in my work, man. Thank you for that. You did inspire me in that area for sure. And to all the other bands, you know, every band that we've ever played with, Wraith, The Side of Impact, I really look up to you guys a lot. I love playing alongside you guys, and I hope one day we can do it again. Other than that, everyone else who's been part of the journey, you all deserve a great shout out. Like I said, especially to you, Karen. You know, you're one of our biggest fans. You are our biggest fan, our proudest supporter. You are literally the reason why we had our spark of success in the first place. So never forget how great you are too, dude. Like, for real. So without further ado, you know, later, y'all.
All right, I want to say give a shout out to, again, 5x5 Brewery for sponsoring us. Motor Ramen. Motor Ramen is actually a pretty cool little place. It has the whole Motorhead theme to it. So their actual catchphrase or logo is the slurp is worth the wait. I was like, nice. But also to Snow Cones, slinging out the best snow cones out here. Ice Cubes, slinging out the best snow cones out here in the valley. They also have a location out there on the island. So you can get out there and get some badass snow cones. They do private events and stuff like that. So hit them up, man. Also to Concert Culture for providing us with sound. If you need any sound for a show, small, big, whatever, hit them up. You need DJing, whatever, just hit them up. They're going to make you guys sound like gods. They are the best in the business with sound. They know what they're doing, and they don't just bring a sound gear. They bring lights and everything. So the whole damn show. Also, thank you to anybody who's been tuning in and watching, and also to the Benavides family. You guys are the fucking real rock stars of the scene. Always at every fucking show, supporting. You buy merch. You don't just buy merch for yourselves. You guys also buy merch for other people who have not heard of the band. So that right there is fucking rock star right there. And Mingo, you're amazing for taking your daughter out to shows at such a young age and teaching her that local music is everything, and to support. You're instilling in that girl a very beautiful thing. And I tell you it all the time. That's like my little sister right there. She's a little mini me. Every show out there, throwing horns, loves the music. That's fucking awesome. 'Cause too many parents raise their kids on shitty ass music and then wonder why the fuck they're shitty ass kids. You know? So, yeah, man. With that being said, I thank you guys for tuning in. My next episode obviously will be next month. So, oh yes, shout out to getting 100 subscribers. You guys, thank you, man. This is something that is really awesome. I was really apprehensive of doing this in the beginning. I always wanted to be the rock star, the musician, and it took people like Vinny D believing in me and telling me, "Hey, bro, you got the voice for radio, bro. Like, do this. Like, you're gonna be awesome at it." And it's just natural for me. It just flew perfectly, and
Especially with all the knowledge you have, man.
Yeah.
Like you get involved with the actual artists. You sit down. You hung out with us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you know insides. Or you shared a story with my brother here. You know, walking down the street. Like
Yeah.
that's what we need. That's the authenticity and the genuinity that we
Yeah.
need, man. So yeah, man. Thank you for that.
Yeah, definitely. And now I find that this is where I belong on it, because my passion it's always been music, but sometimes it takes a while for you to find where your spot is in music. And
true that.
and like Andrew Rains from The Perfused, he told me one time, he says, "Steven, you don't understand, you are a rock star." He says, "You're at the gig before everyone else. You leave at the end of the gig. You help every band load their gear on the stage, off the stage." He says, you literally sing everybody's song word for fucking word at the shows. He's like, "You are the rock star, man. Like, what the fuck?" He's like, "That is the definition of a rock star, man." So, but it took me a while to find out that this is where it's at for me. And it makes sense, because my heroes growing up, they were, of course, some were musicians, but my main hero was Matt Pinfield. And Matt Pinfield was this guy who worked in MTV back when MTV was MTV.
Yeah, that was like when it was cool.
Yeah, and this guy had knowledge of music like fucking insane. Like, he knew everything. Like, this guy would tell you what elementary school Kurt Cobain went to. Like, this guy had that knowledge, and it was always my thing, like, I want to be at that level, you know? And so most of my time in high school, elementary, even when I was like in first and second grade, reading about musicians, and watching documentaries and learning, and so I'll sit for hours and just talk to you about bands, and like, this is how they started, and this and this and this, and so having a podcast, it makes sense.
Yeah, true.
You know? So I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this, because eventually I know it's going to get to a point where I'm going to be on a higher scale, and people are going to be watching it. And all these bands that have been on here, they're going to have a big platform now. And at the end of the day, I could care less if I ever become famous with this. I could care less. All I care is that somebody that has been on my podcast gets discovered and they get to do their shit. Because I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy doing this with my local bands and my homies, and I love it. It's an amazing thing. But yeah, man. So I want to give a shout out to everybody who has subscribed to this and has allowed me to live my dream. And remember that you guys allow me to do this. It is not, I, I'm not given this because I earned this. You guys allow me to do this and allow me by tuning in and keep supporting and everything like that. So thank you to all you guys that do that. And thank you for all the sponsors that believe in me, mainly 5 by 5 because those cats came up to me and asked me, can I sponsor you? And that means a lot that somebody believes in you enough to say, I'm willing to put my business on you. And so thank you. You guys ever get a chance, go out there, man. Those dudes are amazing. It's military owned and operated. They do so much for the community, like so much shit for the community. And they literally created a food park so that musicians would have a place to perform during COVID. Like, that's fucking unheard of. The city of Mission was like, well, you can't open your bar because it's a bar. It has to have food. And then you can open it because then it would be a restaurant. They're like, how the fuck are we going to do that? He's like, I got a big parking lot. You got a food truck, bring it out here and make it a food park. Now it's in their establishment, therefore food is being sold on their property. They can open, live bands can play, they can sell their beer. Fucking genius. I'm like, now that's how you fuck the system. Fuck yes. And anybody who's willing to fuck the system, I'm cool with. Fuck yes. But yeah, man, with that being said, thank you guys again for tuning in. And I will be having Primitive Mind coming on my podcast as of next month. They will be my first guest. And little info, Jackal's Corner is actually named after their main cat for Primitive Mind, Johnny Jekyll Mayhem. Rest in peace, brother. It's after him because that man cared about the scene so much. That was his life. Like, he didn't give a fuck what style you were, what you did. If you were a musician and you wanted to get out there, he'd take you under his wing. If you were a musician that lived with your parents and your parents were like, you know what, give that up or you're out of my fucking house, he'd be like, fucking tell them to fuck off. You got a place right here. That's how he was. Music was everything to this man. And so I thought it was fitting. Something that was local for that. But yeah, man, he's actually brothers with, I don't know if you remember this guy, Mike Bonnick. Was in Dog Mahalo.
Okay, I remember Dog Mahalo.
He was the vocalist for Dog Mahalo, the big dude. Yeah, he passed away. And then maybe 2 years after that, his brother Johnny passed away. That was a bad year for that family. Like, within 4 years, they lost like 4 or 5 people. It was horrible. We were just like burying people left and right during that year. And I was just like, fuck. But yeah, this show's named for him to keep his name alive in the scene forever. But yeah, his crew's coming on, and I'm really looking forward to that. They have some of the greatest rappers I've ever heard in my life. Freaking, these guys are just, their main cat that's around right now, Cal, that dude just blows my fucking mind. This dude reminds me of fucking Eminem. Like, he's just blunt about what he wants to say, and he's just in your face about it. And he don't give a fuck if you get mad about it. He's like, fuck off. If you don't like it, then don't fucking listen. Simple as that. But so join me next week when I'll have Primitive Mind come on. And it's going to be definitely an awesome time because we always have a fun time when Primitive comes on. This will actually be Primitive's 3rd time coming on the podcast. I mean, I figure they get to come on whenever they want. I mean, it's named after their leader. I mean, you know, they kind of got to. They kind of got to anytime they want. But that's the thing. Any band that comes on here automatically has an open invite. Anytime they want to come back on, just hit me up, and you guys come back on. So thank you, guys, and join me next week. That's about it. Peace, love, and unity. We'll catch you next time.